Let's face it, buying a vehicle should be straightforward and stress-free, and that's exactly how Two Rivers Ford has been doing business for decades. This locally owned dealership has a non-commissioned sales team whose only focus is to find you the right vehicle at the right price without the pressure. So you'll actually have a fun car buying experience. Great prices, easy financing, and a non-commissioned sales team. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Experience matters when it comes to being an NFL head coach, and the Titans' interim head coach has exactly that. We met with Mike McCoy yesterday. He will speak again to media today, and we will see after practice, which is a change of pace. The head coach is going to speak after practice today, so we might actually be able to learn something about what went on at practice, as opposed to asking Brian Callahan a bunch of questions before something actually takes place. Good morning. We're happy to have you, Robert, Lucas, and me, until 1 o'clock. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate throughout the course of today. We will also have Mike Giardi of the Boston Sports Journal on because it's Patriots week. Mike Vrabel is meeting with Titans media today at 11:30, so anything relevant out of that. I don't imagine we'd have Twitter video of that. And I guess you could take a phone video of a Microsoft Teams meeting if there's anything worth us using out of that. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Good morning, boys.
Hello.
How was your lunch?
It was wonderful. I'm still full.
Exceptional.
Did you eat dinner?
No, I was about to say that. I did not eat dinner last night.
That's how much we ate for lunch.
All right, so inform the audience of what you did and why you starved yourself yesterday.
Oh, I don't want to, No free shout-outs and all of that.
Got it. It was
The
Shabu
way that
Shabu.
his lips were just smacking in the middle of him talking about that, it's almost like he's drooling again.
I've been eating some of this granola in the break.
There's not been a break yet. The show started 3 minutes ago. You haven't had time to have a break before you started eating.
Hey, at Lucas Panzica on Instagram, if you want to see where we went, check out my story. Maybe they'll give us a free meal next time. But it was a Korean barbecue / hot pot. So
the way
unlimited.
that he accuses me of chasing things for clout and then just immediately plugged his Instagram so he can get free meals. No self-awareness.
I mean, what's the point of doing this if it's not for free meals?
Brother, that's my entire existence.
Korean barbecue and hot pot. So unlimited. Totally unlimited. Whether it's seafood, meats, vegetables, ramen, you get a broth that you can cook all of your goodies in, your ramen, your mushrooms, literally whatever you want.
Anything you could think of. Broccoli, cabbage, shrimp.
Name it.
Crawfish,
Pork belly.
octopus. They had, what was the dadgummit? The pineapple. Bulgogi. Oh, the bulgogi was so good.
So a lot of people, I have friends that just refuse to do these things because they don't want to cook. They don't want to pay to go and cook for themselves.
I understand that logic.
Which, okay, but the experience of it all, awesome. We were there for like 2 hours.
Disgusting. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate throughout the course of the show. You're going to hear from Mike McCoy because he had a message to us. He had a message to fans through media yesterday and kind of reiterating his message to the team. Now, Mike McCoy and Brian Callahan. Mike McCoy is here because he is Brian Callahan's mentor. Or at least one of his mentors, as Brian Callahan came up through the coaching ranks. They spent a good deal of time together in Denver, where Mike McCoy was also on that Broncos coaching staff and worked with Peyton Manning at the time, worked with Tim Tebow as well when they went on that run. So there's familiarity not just with Brian Callahan, Mike McCoy, Dave Ziegler, also part of those teams, who's a part of the front office structure. F&M Bank Chat, also at your disposal, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. If you would like to participate there, you are welcome to do so. Robert, can I hear Mike McCoy's opening statement about the opportunity ahead?
It's been a tough 24 hours, to say the least. I think everybody here understands the opportunity that Brian gave us to come here and help him with the football team and this organization. So it's been tough. And that goes without any hesitation, That's just the way it is. But this is the business that we're in. We all understand this. I've been in it a long time. And you understand that things like this come up. It's a bad part of the business. And when I look at it, it's not just coaches, but there's families involved, there's kids involved, things like that. So it's a tough situation for everybody. But that being said, I think, I've got a job to do now. And I'm excited for that opportunity. It's an honor and privilege to be standing here in front of you guys today and leading this organization. We've got a lot of hard work ahead of us. But the one thing, I've talked to the staff already. I'm going to talk to the team tomorrow about, togetherness. We got to stick together. That's the only way to do it, is stick together. We all have a part in this, where we are today. It's not just Brian. And that's the unfortunate thing in this business that happens, and we all have a hand in it. Every player, every coach, every person in the organization, we have to hold each other accountable. So we all have to be accountable for everything we're doing on a daily basis. So that's two things, the togetherness part of it and the accountability moving forward. Those are two big things that I'm going to stress to everybody, because it's a bad feeling when you see someone that's such a good person like Brian have this happen to. But we all have to understand, hey, we're all in this together, and we all have a hand in it, okay? And with that being said, I want to kind of lead into one other thing with regards to our fan base. I understand the frustration. Our record's what it is, but I can promise you, okay, we're going to work our tails off, every day we walk in this facility as a coaching staff, as players, to go out there and do whatever we can, okay, to give us our best opportunity to win a football game. That's what it's all about. It's about winning. Okay, so we got to go out there and play with great energy, great effort, play with the swagger, complimentary football all three phases playing together. That's the big thing. We all understand where we are and that we've struggled on offense. We got to fix that. And that's the number one thing we got to do right now moving forward is we got to fix it and clean up some things on offense. And but it's complementary football, and that's sticking together as a football team. But when you play complementary football and you help each other out, good things are going to happen. So to the fans, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to fight our tails off and get rolling.
That is Titans interim head coach Mike McCoy. Now, I couldn't help but laugh in the middle of that because he was a very, very serious man, very thorough man. Been around for quite some time in coaching Mike McCoy, but when he said we have to fart our tails off before saying we have to fight our tails off, I did snort out loud.
No, you didn't, but it is an unfortunate slip of the tongue, no doubt. The quarterbacks he has worked with, it's so wide-ranging. Like, think about from Tim Tebow to Phillip Rivers.
Well, Jake Delhomme.
To Jake Delhomme to Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's quite a list.
He's been around for a while. The last time he was a head coach was with the Chargers over a decade ago. 2013 is when he was fired, and was 27-37 in 4 seasons with the Chargers. He's 53 years old. He was out of coaching for a while and got a little emotional at the end of the press conference talking about how important that time away was to spend with his family, because we understand that coaching is a 7-day-a-week job at this particular level, and that it felt like the right time to get back in to work with somebody who he knew very well in Brian Callahan. Apparently, they're not changing anything additionally on the staff beyond Bill resigning. Though Ben Jones did text me. I guess Ben was live. God bless him. He's hanging out on the beach on fall break with his kids, and he's still live streaming the Titans press conference, so he knows what to talk to us about on Monday. Ben said that the two offensive line coaches, assistants that were working under Bill Callahan, are going to be co-offensive line coaches. But Ben texted me yesterday to ask him who is going to be the run game coordinator, because Bill was heavily involved in that as well. Mm-hmm. And that was not a follow-up that was asked in the press conference yesterday.
But yeah, sounds like everything else is status quo, according to Mike McCoy. Nick Holt's still OC. Bo Hardegree will still call plays, but as the QB coach.
There's reason to believe that Mike McCoy has a chance to be the full-time coach if this goes the way that they want it to go. And we'll get to more audio from him later on the things that they're going to do to try and further Cam Ward's growth and development. Because at the end of the day, the change was made not just because Amy Adams-Strunk had a reactionary moment, but because there is no growth, or has not been to this point, legitimate growth with the offensive side of the ball, which was Brian Callahan's expertise, allegedly. And now they are in a situation where Mike McCoy is going to have to change some things up, which Lucas Mike Borgonzi hinted at in his brief statements during the Monday night press conference with Chad Brinker and the Titans GM, where he alluded to some offensive and schematic changes that were going to be implemented there.
I'm sure there will be. I look forward to seeing what that looks like. Man, for that to be against the Patriots, like from a game planning perspective, that makes things interesting for New England, I guess, to see what the Titans are going to roll out with. But how much of what we have been talking about all season, of what we have wanted to see with Cam Ward, do we see, right? Like, how involved has Mike McCoy been in general game planning?
We have no idea.
Under Brian Callahan.
Yesterday was the first time we've talked to the man.
Yeah.
Because he's not a coordinator, nor a play caller. He was not ever made available to the media. I mean, I know a couple of us have tried to introduce ourselves to him prior to him being the interim head coach. He's very short as far as, not rude, but just, I think Trajan had a teammate or something like that played for Mike McCoy at some point during his coaching career. And Trajan said he tried to engage Mike McCoy about it. And it was just a very oh, that's cool. And then he kept walking type of situation. So Mike McCoy, not a known commodity to us, but he is a known commodity to the NFL. He has been an offensive coordinator in Arizona. He was an offensive coordinator. Was he the offensive coordinator in Denver?
Yeah, right? Multiple stints. Yeah. And he was not in Jacksonville. He was just the QB coach for the Jaguars under Doug Peterson.
Yes. So that's your current head coach, your interim head coach, and we'll see. We'll talk more later about, can Mike McCoy do something to earn the job, because the last 3 interim coaches for this franchise have all been made the full-time head coach, as Paul Kaharski pointed out on Twitter this morning, which is something to note about since we're following Amy Adams Strunk tendencies beyond erraticism in firing and hiring decisions. That is also
Mike
something to keep in mind as well. What does that have to do with anything?
Mike Malarkey, Mike Munchak, Mike McCoy. We're following breadcrumbs here. That's why they pay us the big bucks.
I think if there were any breadcrumbs to follow, you would have eaten them by now. 615-737-1045. Stay away from that Love Crunch. I see you eyeing it.
Dark chocolate, peanut butter, granola.
Oh, that does sound delightful. All right. We are going to get into some audio from Jeremy Fowler. He was on the morning show. Was this yesterday or Monday? Yesterday, I assume, that he was on the morning show, and he was mentioning some names on the Titans roster as far as tradable players or players to keep an eye on ahead of the trade deadline. We still have a few weeks to go before that gets here, but it's worth mentioning them as we consider the viability of this team moving forward. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Lake lovers, listen up. Tennessee National Golf Resort Marina community is here to get you involved with this one-day only lake lot release. October 18th, Saturday, October 18th is when this is going down, and you're not going to want to miss out. They have so many great prices on all of their options, whether it's furniture, furnished homes with a boat slip, whether it's properties with 40 miles of views. Tennessee National is there to help you maximize your investment, and they're also financing options available. TennesseeNational.com is where you can go to find more information about all the different things that they offer, whether it's pickleball, pools, an on-site coffee shop, so many different options for waterfront concerts throughout the course of the year, just 20 minutes away from Knoxville, Tennessee, where they also have a restaurant on site. TennesseeNational.com for more information. Again, this limited property release on Saturday, October 18th, this coming Saturday. Make sure you don't miss out. Memories begin here at Tennessee National. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Not even a question. 615-737-1045. That's how you jump in there. If you want to participate, F&M Bank Chat. Also rolling today. There's a fake Leo Rising, my cat, Robert, hanging out in the chat today. No fake Amy Adams Strunk. There's also a fake Kenneth Adams, who is also part of the ownership structure, but no sight of the real or the fake Amy Adams Strunk today in the chat.
I only have one thing to say to your fake cat. Psst, 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 psst. Hey, little guy. Come here, baby.
He is in the chat demanding head scratches. Robert, head scratches now.
Well, when I scratched him before, he called me a peasant. So,
well, that's how you know that's my son. So trade deadline. We had trades last week. We didn't really talk about that Jags-Browns corner swap last week. The Joe Flacco trade from Cleveland to Cincinnati got most of the headlines. And is Flacco Bengals Steelers Thursday night? Is that this week?
You got it.
Okay, very good. The two pictures of them, they're both old, they're both gray. It looks like a flyer for like a political debate. I saw somebody say on Twitter yesterday.
Somebody was using the SpongeBob. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Like.
So anyway, we had trades last week. We didn't really talk about the other two, but the Flacco one grabbed most of our attention because it made no damn sense for Cleveland to send Joe Flacco from an AFC North divisional opponent to another AFC North divisional opponent, but whatever, as is their prerogative. Now, for the Titans, does it matter what the record is at this point? If they're 1-5, we'll see what happens against New England. I'm not going to predetermine their downfall, though I think it would be easy to draw that conclusion at this point in time. Let's assume they're how many weeks do we have to go? 3 more weeks until the trade deadline, November the 4th?
November 4th.
At this point in time, which is a part of the Titans' bye week, by the way.
Yep, so 3 games between now and a trade deadline.
So if they're 1-8, or even if they scrounge out another win here, it's safe to assume that they should be selling this thing for parts.
But to what extent?
Well, the only one that would be viable for other teams, who other teams are obviously going to call about, that I personally, if it was my decision to make, would not move under any circumstances, Jeffrey Simmons. Not just because he's playing at an elite level, not just because you have to find another Jeffrey Simmons if you trade away a Jeffrey Simmons, but because of the growth from him as a person, Lucas. I'm very impressed with Jeffrey and the way that he's handled all of this crap. I think there is legitimate growth and maturity there, and it's fair to expect that as he gets into his late 20s, he's only 28, that might take, some period of time for him to become whatever it is that he wants to become in this league. But that Mike Silver story that we talked to Mike about yesterday, if you missed that interview, you can go check it out via the podcast if you are interested. Had some good nuggets in there about Cam Ward and other things. Him holding J.C. Latham accountable. We didn't talk about that. Apparently, J.C. Latham was, loafing feels like too strong a word if we didn't see the actual practice, but not giving what Jeffrey Simmons felt to be maximum effort.
Yeah, Jeff stopped it.
Jeff stopped him after, I think, 10 plays of going up against one another and said, essentially, we need better from you. Like, this is not acceptable. And then Jeffrey Simmons, obviously, in the locker room in Vegas, talking to us afterwards about their worst week of practice, to the point where Jeff is having to say something publicly to the 7th overall pick who's getting ready to make his comeback. It's not great. Also, J.C. Latham, maybe stay off Twitter. Did you see that yesterday?
Yeah, he was tweeting through some of that stuff yesterday.
And, who among us, it happens, but there is no winning by getting out there and saying everybody want to push the panic button nowadays when people are literally getting fired around you. Your offensive line coach is gone, and you just got dummied by Max Crosby.
Yeah, he didn't say anything egregious on Twitter. Sorry, Robert. But yeah, it was exactly that. Everybody pressing the panic button nowadays, and just kind of a nod towards the stuff swirling around there.
Do you guys think you could clarify something for me? Do you think that was in response to it coming out that Jeff told him we're not getting enough from you, or that was in response to the team firing their head coach and he's saying everyone's pressing the panic button right now?
You know what? The crazy thing about the way that we react to athlete tweets is that it could be about something completely different. It could be about, it could be about something societal.
Yeah. But the point is, it has us asking that question, right?
Yeah. I would love it if he was saying that because people just hit their panic button in the Titans parking lot trying to find their car. Like, bah, bah, bah. Everybody hitting their panic button nowadays. Like, it had nothing to do
Can't
with
find their car.
Yeah, it's like, did I park on level 2?
You know what makes me crazy when I'm leaving the airport? The amount of people on my flight who will just immediately trigger their car alarm because they didn't take the time to take a picture of where they parked. Just take the picture.
Airports just tick me off in general.
I'm not a happy camper at the airport. Surprising to no one. But anyway.
And JC's not a player that you have concern about in that regard, right?
Oh, as far as what, effort?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Jeff Simmons felt it necessary to stop practice. J.C. Latham just got here. Now, there was never a book on him at Alabama or never a story about him at Alabama to that effect. He didn't look good on Sunday, so it's easy to pile on him additionally. I don't know what's going on with J.C. Latham other than he's missed a lot of time with a hip strain. He's coming back to a bad situation. He's got a quarterback that holds the ball too long, and also he didn't play his best game against a really good player, Max Crosby. So there could be a number of things going on there, but hopefully he's able to rebound and put out a better performance against the Patriots, who do not have a Max Crosby on their roster. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, who Ramon Foster knows well from their time together in Pittsburgh. Jeremy is a beat reporter. Ramon obviously is a player. He made an appearance on the morning show and talked about assets that the Titans have that could be moved at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I just think that they want to get, some decent picks where they can. They're probably going to have to resort to getting like some day 3 picks back just because they don't have like some marquee guy that they can trade and get a lot for. Jeffrey Simmons would be the one, but I was told they don't want to trade Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, you got to give the new guy something to work with, and Simmons is only 27, and he's having a great year. In great shape compared to years past. So I would be very surprised if they moved on from him, although I know teams are sort of like, hoping that the Titans would relent there and they would love to get their hands on him. But the 3 guys I have circled for the Titans are Arden Key, Roger McCreary, and I'm drawing a blank. There's one more. I'll have to think about it. Okay. There was a third guy. Oh, Chig, the tight end. Oh. Like, I just think guys that are on their last year of their rookie deal that aren't in the long-term plans, I think are fair game.
How do we feel about those 3 names?
Jeff is 28 for what it's worth, but it doesn't change anything about what Fowler was saying. They all make sense.
Yeah.
Right? McCreary is...
I don't know. I mean, again, the McCreary thing is like the Brownlee thing to me. Where are you going to get another corner that's as good as Roger? I mean, you can get another corner.
Yeah, when they traded Brownlee, it felt like the need to keep Roger McCreary here went up a little bit. But I think Chikakonkwo makes some level of sense, right? I mean, I think he's shown something here in these last couple of weeks. Arden Key, I suppose, is just, if somebody's in bad need of a rotational pass rusher, by season's end.
Arden's your guy off the bench. I think you could do worse, right? I know he hasn't been impactful this year. He's been hurt, missed last game with a thigh injury, if memory serves.
I think it's a quad.
And Chig is kind of boxed in at the positives and the negatives of a potential Chig trade, at least from the outside looking in. It has been very obvious, at least through the offseason, that the Eagles were willing to part with Dallas Goedert. He's in a contract year. There were rumors about him being potentially moved. Similar with Mark Andrews, they have Isaiah Likely, who is also a free agent after this year. So those are 2 top-heavy tight end options. If a team did not want to invest that much in a trade, I could see Chig getting moved because he is cheaper to acquire.
Yes.
I concur. What was that?
I concur. You didn't hear that.
What is it?
It wasn't me dropping my mouse.
Why do you even have a mouse?
Because I have a computer.
Oh, you don't use a laptop?
No, there's a computer right here, right in front of us.
Okay. I would probably be against trading Roger McCreary, even though, he's going to get paid because he's a nickel, and those guys are making considerable amounts of money at this point in time. The need at corner is glaring, though. Like, and then there's the part of the Chig argument. Like, the only one that I think people would be actively interested, like Titans fans would be actively interested in moving, is Arden, right? But now, does that complicate things further? Because Femi Oladejo just went on injured reserve yesterday. So are you going to throw Jalen Harrell out there with Draymond Jones? And Ali Gay was called up as well after they placed Femi Oladejo on injured reserve, but is it gonna be Ali Gay and Draymond Jones out there starting on the edge for the Tennessee Titans that already don't have a pass rush? I mean, I guess if you're really committed to generating this amount of draft capital, but I feel like if you're gonna give Cam Ward a chance here at all three of those players do matter.
Yeah, that kind of went under the radar yesterday. The Femi headed to IR, I guess, from the ankle that he picked up during the game he left the game with in Vegas.
It's a fracture, Koharski reported, and not expected to be season-ending. But, I mean, we have 11 games left. Yeah. How long is it going to take him to get back from a fracture?
Yeah. And I feel like, obviously the Titans haven't gotten enough out of Femi this year, but I felt like Sunday was his best performance.
I'd say that's fair.
A couple of TFLs affecting the quarterback, and then
one he was unblocked on
late.
But yeah.
Yes.
Which is fine. Like, there to make the play. Don't care how you make it. Just make the play. So, unfortunate for him that was the case. Robert, do you want any of these players that we just mentioned? Or are you also selling assets at the deadline? Do you know yet?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll necessarily be major buyers either. But I did want to bring up a name with you guys that was not listed by Jeremy Fowler and see how you guys feel about it. Josina Anderson reported 21 hours ago, this was actually a succinct report, the Chargers are still making preliminary inquiries at running back and tackle position as the November 4th deadline approaches, a league source told me. So what if the Chargers called about Tony Pollard?
I would want it for Tony just so he's got a chance to go play somewhere that has even a remote shot at success.
Doesn't that just sound like something that would make sense for L.A.? Tony Pollard?
Because Hampton's going to miss how much time?
Injured reserve, a minimum of 4 weeks, but they were saying it might be closer to 6 to 8 before he is back.
And Najee's done for the year.
Yeah, Najee's
done
out
for the year. So it's Hassan Haskins, it's Kamani Vidal, who Kamani Vidal had an incredible week last week. I think like 126 yards rushing, former 6th-round pick, but they probably want to add something a little more stable. I also wonder if Dallas wouldn't be a little interested with the Miles Sanders injury.
Now, wait. Why wouldn't you move Tajay Spears?
You could hypothetically move Spears as well. Moving Pollard next year, he is owed $9.2 million, which I think he is worth.
Well, I was about to ask, what's more attractive? Tajay Spears on his rookie deal, who has dealt with injuries, has shown flashes, no doubt, or Tony Pollard, who's a more expensive player, is older, more tread on the tires, but without question has been more consistent and more productive.
Next year, you could cut Tony and save $7 million. So the acquiring party would only be on the hook for $2 million of his salary next year. So I mean, that would be the balancing act. Do you want a younger, potentially upgraded position with Tony or Tajay Spears, or do you want a more consistent running back with Tony Pollard?
The other part of this is how teams view him, because and I'm sure you two know this, but the way that teams will evaluate players a lot of time coming out of the draft process is, are they a one contract or a two contract player? Tajay Spears was, and Ian Rappaport put this out there at the time, because of the lack of ACL, that teams considered him a one contract type of player. So is that factored into the equation? Titans spent a 3rd-round pick on him back in 2023. He is cost-effective. He is more explosive than Tony Pollard.
No question.
He looks like the more explosive player because, again, Tony has had a harder workload, and Tony gets contacted behind the line of scrimmage quite often in his 2 years here. I don't know who teams would view as the better asset. I would assume Spears.
He's been banged up. I mean, whether it's been a concussion or this year was the ankle that held him out until week 5. I don't know. I mean, who are you getting a better return for? And then maybe it depends on the situation. Robert, you mentioned Dallas. He didn't have a good game in Carolina when they lost to the Panthers over the weekend. But Javonte Williams has quietly given them really steady production.
Their offense is good.
Yeah, and they actually have a run game. And Dak, honestly, is playing phenomenal this season.
So CeeDee Lamb, I don't know how much more time he's going to miss at this point in time. He's got to be fairly close to a return.
I think they were, and this is just me going off the top of my noggin.
We should do headlines at some point.
I think they were targeting a week 9 return.
Okay.
But I would have to double check that.
Even for the money, I feel like a team that feels like it's in a window, like the Chargers, and are trying to fill a hole that is there because of injury, that Tony Pollard would be a more attractive option to a team like that, in my mind.
Because you could cut him next year, like Robert said, if you acquire that contract, and a portion of his salary has already been paid by the Titans, so it would not be the full freight of 8.47, which is his 2025 cap hit right now. That money will have gone down as they have worked their way through the first part of the season.
And Tony's not old. He's 28.
Yeah, he's still a decent back, but they have Tajay Spears at home. That's the Kamani Vidal. Maybe not the same type of player, but they have a young player on a rookie contract. Like, they don't need another cheap option to splice in. If you guys are ready to move on, I have another option who I think might be the most attractive player on their defense that's tradable.
Just real quick, somebody said trade Lockett. Who is going to get the corpse of Tyler? Who wants the corpse of Tyler Lockett? With all due respect to the career that Tyler Lockett has and the person that he is, no. Nobody's going to look at that and say, yeah, give me that guy.
It was almost my dumbest thing in sports this week, which you can tune in later today. Where Adam Schefter put out, here are the most tradable assets. The Tennessee Titans have 6 players who would be sought after, and Tyler Lockett was on that list. Adam, you are the foremost expert on the NFL, dude. How do you not know this guy just drank the I'm bad now juice?
The I'm bad now juice. Is that a part of the welcoming to Tennessee ceremony for the 30-plus-year-old wide receivers?
Everyone has to drink the Kool-Aid, yes.
It's like a Jim Jones type situation.
Sebastian Joseph Day.
Yeah.
I think that he is a very acquirable player.
Now, careful, because not careful. He was doing it in jest last year, but we did a whole bit about trading him last year. He came up to me in the locker room at some point last year and said, why you want me traded, man?
Not once you traded, unless it's to my team. He is owed very little money, very acquirable contract, and we have not seen a lot of C.J. Ravenel, the player that the Titans grabbed off waivers after the initial roster cuts. He is an exclusive rights free agent after this year, so the Titans would retain his rights so they choose to. I wonder if they would like to give him a little run and see what they have, given that Sebastian Joseph Day is on an expiring contract. He will only come back next year if he wants to play again.
Worth asking Mike McCoy today after practice if Tavondre Sweat is anywhere closer to having his window open, because he hasn't even been designated to return as of today. So.
Yeah, that's not it doesn't feel like a favorable situation.
Well, he's gaslighting Titans fans on Instagram, posting pictures of him making tackles in Denver and saying soon, but that was 2 weeks ago.
Cole points out in the FNM Bank chat that Schefter also said he didn't expect any head coaches to be departing anytime soon.
Yeah,
literally the day Callie was fired.
That's not on Schefter. That's on Amy Adams Strunk. Amy Adams Strunk got everybody. No insider was prepared for Brian Callahan to be fired. The organization wasn't prepared for Brian Callahan to be fired. She got it on a whim and just dropped the axe. So I hardly fault Schefter for the erraticism of the Titans ownership group. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you would like to participate, you can do just that. You have SEC observations. It's a big week for Tennessee. We have not gotten around to Tennessee, Alabama just yet. Do we have confirmation that our beautiful bald friend Josh Pate will be in studio on Friday?
I guess it'll just have to be one big surprise on whether or not he's here.
Okay. But
no,
do you have observations? That's not a surprise, right? You have observations?
I do. Big weekend.
We'll do it next. No one wants to deal with a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. When you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Book online at happyhiller.com for the business that's been in business for over 35 years and is family owned and operated. Their techs and professionals are experienced and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So do like I say and book online now at happyhiller.com today.
dungeon, where the stakes are high, the chains are tight, and even Nick Saban would tell you it's about to get physical.
You got to know when to kick them in the ass. You got to know when to pat them on the ass. And you got to know when not to say anything.
So come on down where the big boys play in the Sec Dungeon.
Is that just all spooky season? Just going to ride that out through Halloween? That's okay. I don't mind. 'Tis the season. That's it? I'm not going to get anything from you? So help me God, if that plays on the first Wednesday of November. But it's fine during spooky season. Huge weekend. Third Saturday in October. Tennessee heading to Alabama, a place they have not won since when, Buck?
2003?
2003. You listen to something.
I tried.
Vanderbilt hosting LSU this weekend. Oh, early kickoff, 11 a.m. on ABC over on West End.
I kind of want to go.
We were talking about this. Vanderbilt favored in this game, minus 2.5 against a top 10 team coming in LSU. Some big games around the SEC. Ole Miss is at Georgia. That is a top 10 matchup. That is the 2:30 game on ABC. Texas looks to continue its bounce back as they go to the lifeless Kentucky Wildcats, where Texas is a 12.5-point favorite. Florida, winnable game at home against Mississippi State. They are 9.5-point favorites. And Auburn, who 0-3 in the SEC, which I feel for Auburn, man. They've shown a pulse in every game. They're not giving games away they were last year, but they're still sitting here at 3-3 and in danger of falling to 0-4 in the conference when they host Missouri, who's trying to bounce back from that loss against Alabama. So, Tennessee, Alabama. My big thing on this game, one of two things simply has to happen, like non-negotiable things for Tennessee to win. Number one, the defense stops giving up explosive plays at the rate that they are giving them up. Or number two, Tennessee rushes for minimum 200 yards. And that keeps the offense on track, what is right now the number one scoring offense in the country. And Tennessee can just go down there and outscore Alabama's offense on their way to a win. Because Tennessee has done a great job at affecting the quarterback and forcing turnovers. As bad as a lot of the counting stats have been defensively, Alabama is really good at protecting the quarterback, and Ty Simpson does not commit turnovers. So what is more likely to you? That Tennessee's defense finds a pulse in this game, down to down in terms of stopping the run and giving up those X plays throughout the course of a game and finds a way to limit Ty Simpson in this Bama offense, which could be without Jam Miller, the running back. I haven't seen an update on him after he left the Mizzou game, missed the first few games of the year too. Or is it more likely that Tennessee goes down there with Joey Aguilar and just is red hot throwing the football? They're running it up the gut. Alabama's given up a lot of rush yards the last couple weeks. They have a bottom 4 rush defense in the SEC. Tennessee, a top 3 rushing attack in the Southeastern Conference.
The latter. They're averaging 48.17 points per game on offense, giving up almost 30 on defense. The scoring, as far as that goes, I mean, that's as lopsided as I think you'll find a team in the SEC, right? This year, how much disparity there is between the high-powered nature of their offense and the sieve that is their defense. I'm sure that there are probably some more gaudy stats somewhere, but I don't know if you could find a more lopsided or uneven team than Tennessee right now. Scored 37 touchdowns, have allowed 22 so far this year. I would say that it's more likely. I mean, how are Vols fans feeling about Tim Banks right now? Because there is a reasonable excuse about the secondary injuries and things like that, but I also think it's fair to expect that they could perform better as a unit and that people are probably looking sideways at the coordinator a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be better. Like, you go up 17 on Arkansas, you can't just let them back into the game that way. And it felt like they got back into the game with such ease, just marching down the field, ripping off 20-yard plays between the hash marks right through the middle of your defense. I think linebackers have to play better for Tennessee. By the way, Edwin Spillman will miss the first half of the Bama game after being ejected for targeting against Arkansas in the fourth quarter. But at the same time, and we had this discussion the other week too, they are creating so many more game-breaking plays than they were last year. Like, let me pose it to you. What would you rather have? Last year, Tennessee's offense had its struggles, right? They had to really depend on the run game. They didn't have a lot of fluidity, rhythm in the passing attack. They couldn't connect downfield. It was frustrating. but they were complemented by a Tennessee defense that didn't really sack the quarterback at a crazy high rate, didn't really force a ton of turnovers, but was so stout. Just didn't let teams run the ball on them. Red zone defense was excellent. You looked across the board, rush yards allowed per game, total yards per game. Tennessee was at or near the very top of the country, much less the SEC, in all of those stats. Or what you have this year with an offense that is much more in the mold of what we come to expect with Josh Heupel, that is able to push the ball downfield and create explosive plays and dominate in the run game, complemented by a defense that gives up a lot more, but can sack the quarterback, can take the ball away at a much more efficient rate than they did last year, which can turn into more opportunities for the offense. Like, what's more favorable to you?
I would say the latter. And if we're just talking about college football opportunities, trying to pull away from your opponent, understanding that almost at will, college football offenses, no matter what the level of talent, based on the way that you're able to scheme and maximize the maybe not necessarily skill sets of the players, but you're able to manufacture it more than you are at the pro level. I would say the latter makes more sense to me, or would you disagree?
I agree. No, I think I agree with you. Tennessee's defense has sacked the opposing quarterback 26 times. They did it 5 times against Arkansas, and we talked about it after the Mississippi State game. Do you remember the number of how many times they sacked the QB total all of last year?
I don't.
29.
Yeah.
But at the halfway point of the season, they're 3 sacks away from matching that.
Yeah.
So it has been frustrating. Third down defense was dreadful in the Arkansas game. It was really bad. There are things they need to clean up. But they are making more impactful plays defensively with the takeaways and the sacks than they were a year ago. So it's like, pick your poison. Tennessee's offense has been, like I said, the number 1 scoring offense in all of college football this year. It seems like it's firing on all cylinders. They were held back a little bit by penalties, some things they need to clean up too, to avoid those pre-snap penalties that immediately set them back, that kind of cut their legs out from under them when it comes to the tempo. But yeah, Tennessee 26 sacks. Alabama has allowed on the year 13 sacks. So actually that puts them bottom half of the SEC. They have a good offensive line. They have a talented offensive line. But that is one area where Tennessee could find an advantage defensively. And I'd like to see Tim Banks be aggressive.
Yeah.
Right? Like early on in his tenure, we thought, okay, the defense maybe will match the Tennessee offense. Just be aggressive. You know you're going to be on the field a lot with that tempo. And that kind of got pulled back a little bit last year with how good they were. They were able to rush with 4. They didn't often send extra pressure. I'd like to see them be really aggressive in this game and try to really force some mistakes, because Ty Simpson's not going to do it for you. It's just not going to happen. Dude, that's 1 interception this year.
Should be fun. I think people are agreeing with us in the F&M Bank chat. Paul Garner on YouTube said would rather have this year's team than last year, no doubt about it. The defense played above expectation last year out of necessity, because the offense was not, the quarterback was not elevating the offense the way that you expected him to. Joey Aguilar, who should not have a higher ceiling, he does not have a higher ceiling, I suppose, than Nico Iamaleava, because Nico still has more traits that way. But Joey Aguilar clearly has been a better player in the Tennessee offense than Nico Iamaleava ever was. So I would agree. I would take the higher level of quarterback play, the more skilled level of quarterback play within the concept of the offense, or within the scope of the offense, to give Tennessee a chance, not just, in regular season SEC play, but for a potential college football playoff push, which we can start to talk about with a little more seriousness should they beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa for the first time in 2 decades.
Yeah. But with that said, Jack Longley in the F&M Bank chat points this out. What travels better?
This year offense.
Well, I'd say usually your formula for winning last year travels better than your formula for winning this year, which is just to outscore the opponent.
But your defense isn't traveling.
Well, what I'm saying is, what travels better? Having a defense that is as dominant across the board as Tennessee's was last year, with an offense that really leans on running the football, or leaning on a defense that gives up a lot of explosive but can make some plays, and your offense just scoring more points than the opponent. I'd say the former. I'd say the 2024 formula for Tennessee travels better than the 2025 formula. And that's been the thing under Heupel. He has yet to win that game under the lights at an Alabama, at a Florida, at a Georgia. So can this offense travel? It did to Mississippi State to an extent, right? They faltered in moments, but in the end, they obviously did enough to win.
And the Brazel touchdown getting waved off also makes
60-yard
that
touchdown,
look a little different.
Bad
right?
call, sure. But this is different. Like, this isn't, I love the cowbells and everything, but this is Bryant-Denny Stadium under the lights and an Alabama fan base that's energized, that feels like they're seeing the team they were supposed to see this year. Alabama going on the road, pulling out a gutsy win at Missouri. So Tennessee's got to clean up some stuff defensively. There's no question. And we'll see. Maybe it comes down to, some cliches, like who runs the ball better, who makes the fewest mistakes. Seeing Deshaun Bishop have a breakout game, a career high, 146 yards, the Tennessee running back last week, was encouraging. And he left the game injured. Heupel said Monday he expects that he's going to play. And we got a question about a Trajan McCoy update. No idea. I mean, we'll see. People have been trying to place timelines.
Interview, I think with somebody at VolQuest saying something like responding to reports about McCoy targeting an Arkansas return, saying that did a disservice to the player. It's not something that people are fully aware of all the things that are going on with Jermad McCoy at that point. So Heupel, obviously Heupel wouldn't put a timeline on it either way, but it sounds like it's not as turnkey as we might have thought.
Do you know what the spread is? Bama, Tennessee?
Bama 6.5.
7.5.
7.5. Has that moved?
I'm not sure what it was as of yesterday or 2 days ago. Over-under is 58.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right. What do I have to give away, Robert?
I have express written permission that since we did not do Oh No yesterday,
I forgot.
We have a double prize.
Whoa.
So whoever we deem the initial winner gets their choice between Keith Urban tickets for this weekend, the 17th, should be a great show, or Nashville SC tickets the day after, where they play host to Inter Miami.
The messy game.
So big tickets on both sides, so you better bring it.
That's a hot ticket.
Wow.
I can't wait.
Okay. 615-737-1045. First place gets to pick. Second place gets whatever's left over, but the leftovers aren't bad for the dumbest thing in sports this week. But that's what you have to do. You have to call us 615-737-1045. You have to give us your dumbest thing in sports this week. We'll give you ours as well. Coming up next.
11:02. Good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. The Tennessee Titans turned their attention to the New England Patriots, visiting Nissan Stadium this coming Sunday with Mike McCoy leading the Titans as the interim head coach. He held his introductory press conference as the interim yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. The Titans also made a transaction placing rookie edge rusher Femi Oladejo on injured reserve on Tuesday. Oladejo left the Raiders game last week with an ankle injury in the second half. The second rounder out of UCLA heads to IR. In a corresponding move, the Titans signed Ollie Gay to the active roster from the practice squad. The team also signed offensive tackle John Ojukwu to the practice squad and waived tight end Thomas Odukoya. Postseason baseball tonight in the ALCS. It is Game 3. Blue Jays at Mariners. Seattle has a 2-0 series lead. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
All right, we got Keith Urban tickets or Nashville SC tickets. The winner, the first place winner of the dumbest thing in sports this week, gets to pick between those two great prizes. Nashville SC playing host to Inter Miami, which means Lionel Messi. Keith Urban, recently divorced Keith Urban, perhaps a particularly passionate performance on, what is this, Friday?
That is correct. I think he's going by Rural Keith now.
Stop. As his rebrand.
I mean, he's our neighbor now. We could just go knock on the door next door and see if he has any extra tickets.
Hey, is Rural here? Came to pick up my tickets.
615-737-1045 is the number. Robert, you let me know when you have the audio, the Mike Lombardi audio that I just sent to the chat. Okay, Mike Lombardi is the general manager of North Carolina football. North Carolina football is a laughingstock right now under the vision of Mike Lombardi and Bill Belichick. One of the things that made me laugh was a video produced from North Carolina this week about Mike Lombardi and his process when it comes to the note-taking that he does or the writing that he does. He is also a published author. It is ironic, Lucas, that the name of his book is, do you know?
Oh, I don't remember.
Gridiron Genius.
I thought it was going to be Lombardi. No, not that one.
That would have been a better one.
I'm glad that one got it.
That's good.
That was so delayed.
No, it's good.
It's because he was looking at the menu at Fogo de Chao. All right, let me hear from Mike Lombardi on why he insists on using a typewriter as opposed to a computer like the rest of the world.
So I'm just working on my to-do list, but I do it on the typewriter because it forces me to slow down. I have to think about what I want to write about, and the typewriter gives you that rhythm that you need to be able to slow your mind down and think. You're going to make mistakes, right? And on a computer, you can delete the mistake. But sometimes the mistakes that you deleted have really powerful messages in them. And so when I first started to write my first book, I studied a lot of writers, and a lot of them were using typewriters. And I worked for a guy named Ernie Accorsi in Cleveland, who was a former newspaper man, and he had a typewriter in his office. So I kind of got used to using it, and it helps me slow down and think, which ultimately is what this job's all about, thinking.
Mike Lombardi being wildly inefficient because he insists on using a typewriter to take literally to do his to-do list, understanding that when he screws it up, he'll have to just throw it out and do it again, is one of the funniest things that I've ever heard. Also, people are making fun of his alleged hairpiece in that video.
I love the sometimes the mistakes have some powerful messages in them, and it's just like typing UMC instead of UNC.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what are you talking about? This is the man ushering a UNC into a new era.
The 33rd team, an extension of the NFL, North Carolina football, doing things on a typewriter. Mike Lombardi, dumbest thing in sports this week.
That is so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go with SEC officiating, who has not, like they did after the Oklahoma-Auburn debacle, the player pretending to be subbed off and hiding on the sideline and then running free into the end zone for an Oklahoma touchdown in a game that Auburn lost by a touchdown. They put out a statement. They said that they erred. I don't know if there are any consequences or anything like that, but Kirby Smart, during the Auburn-Georgia game, poor Auburn, just on the receiving end of all of these, so blatantly, obviously calling a timeout, screaming in typical Kirby fashion, running up and down the sideline, making the T symbol with his hand, yelling timeout. You can see his lips. And then it's granted, and immediately he starts protesting, and everybody thought he was trying to convince the officials that he was clapping, like urging on his team. I don't know. But this was Kirby's explanation after the fact in the postgame presser.
Yeah, they're clapping. So I told them before the game, if these guys clap, it's a penalty. They can't clap because it will false snap. I've lost games on that before in the stadium. And I told them, I said, if they clap, I'm going to tell you. I got somebody in the box watching every play. They were clapping. So I ran over to him and said, they're clapping. They're clapping. And he thought I called timeout. And so I wanted to make sure he understood it. Go lip read. Because I'm screaming, they're clapping, they're clapping. I didn't need a timeout because we were going to get it off before the shot clock. It was 2-1. We were going to get it off before the play clock ended, and I didn't need a timeout. It was the fact that they were clapping.
Okay, but you were calling one, Gerb. Like everybody and their mother can see you were calling a timeout.
I've seen it since Saturday.
It's everywhere. And so people are having fun with it, right? There's like the please applaud signs, and it's a timeout symbol, and people are doing the the cha-cha slide? Everybody clap your hands, and everybody's just doing the timeout thing. But the fact that the SEC hasn't said anything about this, it's a bad look, man. It's a bad look for officials to see a coach asking for a timeout, grant him a timeout, and then be convinced by said coach that, no, I wasn't actually calling a timeout. I was trying to show you that they were clapping. Bad look all around. It's been a bad year for SEC officiating.
Locker room availability doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be strange. The messaging doesn't have to be anything unique. You just have to get your information out and make sure everybody understands where you're coming from. And I think Jamar Chase did an exceptional job at that this week, preparing for the Steelers on Thursday Night Football. Here's what Jamar Chase had to say in the locker room.
Well, this next game is always the most important game just because it's a divisional game also. But just the rankings that we got going on, the standings where we at right now. We know the Steelers going to try to come in and raw dog us and kill us, but we're going to be ready for that challenge, and we're going to be waiting for it.
Whoa, okay. Whoa, watch out. Or what are the kids saying now? Pause. Watch out now.
We were having a nice time.
Joey Porter Jr. was asked about these statements in the Steelers locker room, and here's what Joey Porter Jr. had to say. Just kidding. We're not going to play that audio for whatever reason, even though I just listened to it. No big deal. Oh, the pod's
That's where we at right now.
How about you shut up, Jamar? Joey Porter Jr. in his comments.
Did you get a chance to hear Jamar Chase's comments about thinks you guys are going to come in and try to raw dog them?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep.
Such a normal person response from Joey Porter.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
So sometimes in the Family Matters episode, Steve Urkel gets broken up with. The girl tells him, I like guys that say what they mean, not say mean things. Jamar Chase needs to worry about saying what he means. That's my dumbest thing in sports.
Well, it's just that he followed up with that they're going to raw dog us and kill us. So it's like, oh, my God, what's
So
going on
graphic.
in your world, brother?
He was.
Jamar Chase's comments about thinks you guys are going to come in and try to raw dog them?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yep.
He was incredible, by the way, Sunday, Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Like, he's been awesome this whole time. The quarterback carousel in Cincinnati, and they end up losing to Green Bay, but he was fantastic.
615-737-1045 is the number. First place gets to pick which prize they want. Keith Urban tickets for Friday or tickets to Nashville SC's upcoming match against Inter Miami and Lionel Messi.
Decision
Second
day.
place gets the other pair of tickets. So we will start with Chris. What do you got, Chris?
Hey, guys. I'm trying to recover from the raw dog right now.
Yeah. Well, that's you
got
phrasing.
to pause.
That is also
brother.
crazy.
God, it was crazy.
Well, it just means more for the SEC. Mine is kind of a personal. I have a bet that's been going since the beginning of the football season with a Bama fan that the loser shaves the other logo in the back of their head. And this past Monday, he's trying to go back on it. So I don't know who made the dumber decision on that one, but I'm going forward. I don't care. The Vols lose. I will put an A in the back of my head proudly and support the Vols. And just want to get y'all's take on who do you think is the dumbest, me or the Bama fan?
Both of you for agreeing to this bet, but I appreciate the call.
Like, is he saying shave the logo into the back?
So if Tennessee loses, he, as a Vols fan, would have to shave the Alabama A into the back of his head.
I love that.
Also, who's doing the hair cutting? Because I feel like you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing. Otherwise, it's just going to look like drunk children with crayons.
That A is like a calligraphy A. Like, it's a nicely written A. It's not like you could just have like
just a block A.
Standard A.
It's just going to be a block A, yeah.
I mean, the T could be, right? I mean, the T has some, like, wings on the, I don't know what you would call that, the lips of the T.
Yeah, but it's also got, like, depth to it. Like, it's not just a standard T, right? You have to get the outline of the T correct.
We have to tweet us a picture. I have to see what kind of A or T is put in the back of someone's head.
Yeah.
It's a lowercase A.
Chris, if you're not on Twitter or not on social media, please create an account just to send us the final results of your bet pending Saturday's result.
It's literally like a scarlet letter. A red A. Walk around, going to give people the wrong idea.
At symbol in the back of his head.
Is this my cat? Leo calling me from my home? Leonidas, I told you you're not allowed to use the phone.
Oh. Come on, man. Oh, no. No.
I don't like a grown man purring.
Oh, make
at
it
us.
stop. I didn't like that.
That was how do you know that was a man?
That made me feel uncomfortable.
I mean, it was a man because it was Leo.
Yeah. I mean, Leo was originally Cleo until we discovered the Red Rocket. And then we very quickly had to lob off the C and lob off some other things.
My friend did the same thing, named a cat Lucy. They thought it was a girl. It turned out being a boy, and now his name is Lucifer.
Oh, my goodness. What a switch up. Oh, I'm cringing. I'm cringing at that one.
That was tough. Jackson is in Franklin.
How you guys doing this morning?
Great. A little creeped out, but great.
So I got this morning for you guys. I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend. I'm a huge USC fan, and Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports owner, went on the college football on Fox and called out Lincoln Riley and the USC football program and calling them soft. And they get blown out 31-13. SC had a walk-on running back that got 158 yards on the ground, and that's my dumbest thing in sports. Dave Portnoy calling out USC, and they getting exposed on national media.
Tough.
Yeah. A freshman walk-on. King Miller.
Oh,
Great
what a
name.
great name. All right, so Dave Portnoy and the loser of the Bama-Tennessee bet so far. We need stronger submissions. Alex is in Mount Juliet. All right, very good.
Stoney's in the chat saying that caller woke up his cats and now they're chirping at the TV as he watches us on his own TV.
Why would anybody put us on their televisions? Something's wrong with you people.
It lets them see your pores in high def.
I don't like that. Need to exfoliate. Scott is in Jersey.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to top Leo, but I'll try. My dumbest thing in sports is Mike Briganti being held hostage at the podium the other night. I know you guys have taken it and run with it. First of all, I appreciate the questions that you and PK and the rest of the group asked. For us out-of-state fans, that's very, at the end of the day, we don't care what the front office looks like if the product on the field is at least watchable. And right now, obviously, it is not. And when you ask specific questions and don't get, feels like Briganti wants to say more, but it's being held back. Chad's answering 90% of the questions, and we just want the truth, right? We want what's going on behind these decisions, and I feel like he's kind of being put a cap on that. So that's my dumbest thing in sports is just him, not being able to kind of have a clear direction on what his role is. So I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you for the call. If you're not in Nashville, I suppose you can't win the tickets. So it's really between Portnoy or the Bama Bet.
Well,
situation.
they both technically win because there's a double prize.
Look at that.
How about that?
So who is the initial winner, and we can ask them what they would like.
I mean, the better submission was the Dave Portnoy thing.
Well, and the person gambling on the Tennessee-Bama game will probably be, mentally preparing for the Tennessee-Bama game by the time Nashville SC and Miami kick off. That game's at 5 p.m. for Saturday, the soccer game. Bama-Tennessee is at 6:30.
Jackson, would you rather have Keith Urban tickets or Nashville SC tickets?
Nashville SC tickets.
All right.
Let's go.
Hey,
Very good.
love that.
Jackson gets the what?
What was that?
Did you say hey?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jackson, what's the shape of Italy? It's a boot. See ya.
What? Just give him his damn tickets.
I will. I just was it.
Chris gets the Keith Urban tickets for Friday. Well done by all. Borgonzi did feel like a hostage, and the caller, Scott from Jersey, said that he felt like Borgonzi wanted to say more. I can assure you Mike Borgonzi wants to say as little as humanly possible. He doesn't want to be in front of a microphone. He could not be less interested in media availability, which is why you want him in that job. All right, very good. Congratulations to the winners. Everybody loses when Mike Giardi of the Boston Sports Journal joins us next. Erectile dysfunction can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But the good news is there's real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of men get back to feeling like themselves. These aren't cookie-cutter treatments that they offer you. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Mike Giardi of the Boston Sports Journal is not necessarily the best at anything, much less the best in the world at anything, but he's here either way because it's Patriots week. It's as toxic down here as it's ever been. The toxicity is ramping up because the former head coach is coming to town with not publicly bad intentions, but God knows privately he wants to whip their ass. Giardi, how are we? It's been too long since we've seen each other and since you wasted 50 minutes of my time doing your damn podcast yesterday.
Well, I mean, it would have only been 35 minutes of your time if you could have figured out your own video setup there. And, fortunately, you went back home, got set up on the laptop, and did the job that you're supposed to do. Be a professional. Be a professional. Just because you're a national guy on weekends doesn't mean you can just treat the little people like crap now.
I've always, even before we had the national show, I've always been very dismissive and condescending to anybody, no matter what their position above or below me is. So how are things in New England? What is the dialogue? How much is he brushing off these questions? He's getting ready to meet, by the way, Mike Vrabel with Titans media in about 5 minutes via a Microsoft Teams call that obviously I will not be a part of.
Well, that is very interesting because nobody really does that these days. So, again, sort of speaks to the gravity of his return. It's sunshine, puppy dogs, and ice cream here in New England, right?
Which is not the Boston way. I've never heard of anything like that in my entire life. What's different about this time around with Mike Vrabel?
Yeah, well, I mean, back-to-back years of 4 straight wins, so people were desperate for this change. Belichick's last year, Mayo's one and only year, and he's already won 4 games, including 3 in a row. I don't believe in like 50 years they've won 3 straight games on the road, which if they win at Tennessee, they'll have done that as well. So, the people can't eat it up enough here. They've been desperate for this team to turn, which is crazy because it's only been 5 years, but they got spoiled being in an AFC championship game or being in a Super Bowl every year. And they feel like they have the coach and they feel like they have the quarterback. And when you've got those two things, as you well know, you can go pretty far in this league.
How much more important is the latter than the former, the quarterback versus the coach?
I think the coach has given him great structure, and I think that's important. I think he's been in his ear from day one, and it matters. And I think Josh McDaniels is a more accomplished offensive coordinator, and I think that matters than Alex Van Pelt was last year. But the kid is just the amount of growth, even from week 1 to week 2, is pretty extreme. And now he's playing at this level over basically the last 4 weeks where he's been unassailable, like just making all the right decisions, basically when to run, when to throw it away. There was a little flip the other day, Sunday, against New Orleans for a 9-yard gain. A couple weeks earlier, he was thinking about the flip and he fumbled the football. It's like everything that he does right now is coming up aces. It's like, honestly, like I can't get over how fast he has come in such a short time.
Phrasing. Mike Giardi of the Boston Sports.
Oh, you.
You accused Lucas.
I knew as soon as I said it, you son of a gun. Lucas, don't let him get away with this.
No, and Lucas is on my side. The rare moment when Lucas is on my side, because last time you were here, you accused him of liking Instagram model accounts just with some kind of addiction, like some kind of porn addiction, basically, Giardi.
But he did, so I don't know why we're disputing it. That's all facts, actual evidence. There's a paper trail.
Go ahead, Lucas.
Were you guys talking about me? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I know. He's looking up what he wants for lunch.
What was the perceived weakness that has been somewhat of a strength that has surprised you the most so far this season?
With regard to May?
Just generally.
Like the Patriots team, the roster,
team,
about the organization that Mike Vrabel just came into.
Because, Mike, for us, the Patriots roster was a bad situation for Mike Vrabel, and you hoped that Drake May, would take that leap in his second year, but you got Stephon Diggs coming off the ACL, and hopefully Will Campbell will be good, right, if you're a Patriots fan, shoring up that left tackle spot. But what is one area that you thought, okay, this is a question mark going in, that has been a pretty big reason why they are where they are?
I actually wondered if they could stop the run, which, you're going to Christian Barmore lost 20 pounds, got down to 305. Milton Williams is under 300 pounds. And I was like, there's a lot of money invested in those two guys, and they're going to be good pass rushers. You know this, and they have been. But could they stop the run? No running back has gone over 50 yards against them this year. They have been awesome. Kyrus Tonga, who you've probably never heard of, has been a revelation. He's come in as the third DT and has just bleeped stuff up at all times. They got a couple young players behind them, Joshua Farmer, Corey Durden. Like, doesn't really matter who they put in there. You're not moving them. And that has allowed what I would consider lesser edges to be fine, and has allowed, other than Robert Spillane at linebacker, lesser linebackers to be fine. So they've done a great job there. I think Stephon Diggs has been way better than I thought he was going to be, not even a year removed from the ACL. That's made a big difference in terms of the trickle-down effect. He's getting more attention, which means Kayshon Boutte and Pop Douglas and these guys are one-on-one. If they were getting more attention, they're not getting open. But when they're getting one-on-one attention, they're smart enough and being deployed well enough to get open. And Drake May he's finding him. Like, the mental part of May has been, probably of all the things I'm saying, the mental growth of May in the last month has been awesome, because I don't know that we could have trusted him to make the right decisions continually, even through the first couple weeks of the season. And then boom, he is here, and largely he is making the right decision every single time he drops back.
We've got someone in our chat here on YouTube, the F&M Bank chat. Adam says, credit Josh McDaniels for developing Drake May, not Mike Vrabel. McDaniels, obviously the offensive coordinator up there, and here that was an issue, right, Mike, with Arthur Smith out the door, and then that carousel started. And that's always the concern with the defensive-minded head coach. Is there a feeling up there that Vrabel can kind of circumvent that in this stint with the Patriots, and that Josh McDaniels probably isn't going to go looking for another head coaching gig again? Could this be the perfect situation for Mike Vrabel as a defensive head coach?
Lucas, the guy that Mike Vrabel has been hardest on, other than the quarterback, has been the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels. He questioned his run plan after game one. Every time someone they just throw a bouquet of flowers at Josh's feet, like, for the job he's done developing this or getting the receivers involved. And Mike immediately talks about Thomas Brown, who's the passing game coordinator, and Todd Downing, who's the wide receiver coach, and Doug Marrone, who's the offensive line coach, and Ashton Grant, who was with him in Cleveland, is now the quarterback's coach here. It's like, can you just say that Josh is doing a nice job? He just doesn't want to do it.
It's the best.
And look, Josh has done a good job. Like, they're struggling to run the football, and yet they're still scoring points because he's doing a good job of scheming things up. So I don't know. McDaniels is one of those guys that probably thinks the third time would be a charm. So I don't think he would close the door on being a head coach again. But I find it hard to believe that someone in the National Football League would say, you know what, after what happened in Oakland or Vegas, what happened in Denver, yeah, we know it. It's going to happen with us. Like, I can't figure that.
Mike Giardi, Boston Sports Journal, host of the All 32 podcast. Is that the correct name of the podcast that you bothered me with yesterday? I nailed it just like I nailed my podcast appearance. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. So you asked me a question yesterday in our discussion about how people feel about Mike Vrabel here. Look no further than directly across from me as somebody who has been somebody who has talked about Mike Vrabel as being overrated based on the hype around him. You and I are in agreement, Giardi, that that there is a lot of bad coaching in the NFL, as evidenced by just what happened with Brian Callahan here. That's an extreme example, but still, Mike Vrabel doesn't have to be Vince Lombardi, but is he a better than average in-game coach so far through these first 6 games?
Oh, no question. And as we were talking yesterday, John Stretch, who's his right-hand man up in the booth, has made a big difference. They are on top of things in game. I maybe there was one time this year where I was like, why didn't you challenge that? But even like in the game the other day, they didn't challenge a call because they were like, well, we want to be sure about the timeout. And the way the referees were calling that game on Sunday, we can't be sure that they're going to get this right. So let's just keep that one in our back pocket. Saved it for the end of the game. Kayshon Boutte on a 3rd and 11 with about 2.5 minutes left, catches the ball on the sidelines, gets both feet in, gets a butt cheek in, and the ref says, no, he's out of, gets the catch counts, but he's out of bounds, stop the clock. And they challenged it, and they went back and reviewed it, and lo and behold, he was in bounds. The clock had to wind, took him down to the 2-minute warning, and that was essentially the ball game. So kind of iced the game for the Patriots in that regard. I think he's done a terrific job. They came out against Buffalo with a heavier defensive line, with 3 linebackers, which they hadn't shown all season long, with Gibbons, Tavai, and Spillane. And the Buffalo Bills were spinning their wheels for almost 2 quarters. And Joe Brady the next day admitted, like, we took a little time to get adjusted to their scheme. So it's something they hadn't seen, and that makes a big difference. Held them to 3 points in that first half in Buffalo in a game they won by 3 points.
Are you surprised by what's happened here in Tennessee?
No. I mean, I get – well, here's what I will say. I didn't think Brian Callahan would be that bad. I think you and I talked about this last year. Like some of the stuff that was going on with Callahan last year, we would talk and I'd be like, this was not what I was told. This is not what I saw in Cincinnati, where granted, he wasn't the play caller. So I get it. The success with Burrow, but like so well respected, so well spoken. And then things got off to a bad start in Tennessee and then just, went right down the drain. But like when they fired Rand and kept Callahan and hired Borgonzi and Brinker's there, I'm like, this isn't going to work. They immediately should have wiped the slate clean last year. If you're going to move on from the guy that helped hire the head coach, then the head coach has got to go too. So everybody's aligned. You've got your guy in the building, and now you're all pulling in the same direction. Now it's 6 weeks, and you're like, well, you know what? Our coach is the problem here, and well, we didn't hire him, so, or at least Borgonzi didn't hire him, so he's going to be the fall guy, and we'll go find our new guy and quote unquote buy ourselves some time. It's kind of gross. The Amy Adams Strunk part of this is gross. Like, be present, be available. Robert Kraft came
Mike
out in front
Silver
of us.
came on here yesterday and called her gutless, Giardi.
That's completely accurate. I mean, look at Robert Kraft was hoodwinked essentially by Gerard Mayo. Put it in his contract to be the successor, even though he had this no experience. And like, oh, Bill will show him the ropes, but he didn't tell Bill that and whatever. And then Gerard was completely out over his skis the entire year. Well, when they fired him, he stood in front of us and said, this is my fault. I put Gerard in this situation. It was an unwinnable situation. I did this to him, and I'm sorry. I made a mistake. We're going to move on, and I feel bad for Gerard. Like, Gerard's getting paid, so it's not terrible, but like he understood. I set this guy up to fail. He did, and he owned it. Robert's not always perfect, but I thought that was a well-handled situation. You screwed it up. You came out in front of us, and you said, I screwed it up. Put it on me.
How much is the Vrabel Titans connection being talked about still up there? Or was it kind of put to bed after the, interesting over important line from Vrabel? Because it's not just him, right? Like Harold Landry's having a nice year. Robert Spillane's out here leading the Patriots in tackles.
Coaching staff.
Jack Gibbons, that you mentioned, Todd Downing and Stretch. And so obviously it runs pretty deep, Mike. Has it been a discussion point throughout the course of the week?
Yeah, they're trying to downplay it, but some of the guys that weren't involved in it have already sort of weighed in. And, Stephon Diggs is like, I got a sense that this will be an extra important game this week. Like Mike has struck all the right tones with his teams, and I guess he'll try to downplay it in the locker room. But and I know how much this means to him. That he wants to go in there and shake his ass in front of everybody and win 45-3. And I think if he has the potential to do that, he's going to do it. I was thinking about the Brady, I think it was 2018, Logan Ryan, so a bunch of Patriots on that team, right? Came down to Tennessee. They tried to throw a pass to Tom Brady. Remember that game? Now that's actually a play that Brady hurt his knee on and was impaired for the next 6 weeks. And then as the game got away from the Patriots and Brady was chucking in the stands all pissed off, what did Mike do? He called a quarterback throwback pass to Marcus Mariota to be like, hey, Bill, you think you're smart, but my guy's more athletic than yours. We're kicking your ass, and this is what we do. And they're going to downplay it all they want, but everybody knows what it means.
Is Harold Landry, what's his status right now? I know he had another nice day Sunday, but did he get hurt early in that game?
He did, and he wasn't sort of the same player after. He got rolled up on. It was friendly fire, and I don't know whether it was ankle or knee or both. Looked pretty gnarly. He convinced them that he didn't need to put on a brace and came back out there, and he played. So, I mean, I don't know, if that was just the adrenaline. So we'll get the injury report this afternoon, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's a little bit limited this week. But by and large, got off to an awesome start, was an absolute demon first couple weeks, has slowed down a little bit. I think they've had some injury problems there and some guys underperforming. I think they'd probably like to get him off the field a little bit more just to sort of preserve his body, because he is still, I think he's still playing at about 230, 235, not 250 like he's listed. So, but he's had a nice year, and Spillane's had a really nice year. Bad the first 2 weeks, been awesome the last 4. Dr. Gibby is Dr. Gibby, right? He steps in, does the things that he does. A very solid player, seems to be in the right place. So, there's a lot at stake for a lot of these guys. I don't think Vrabel's the only one that wants to shake his ass at everyone.
Are you traveling for the game or no?
That is still up in the air. I know this is late.
It's Wednesday. What do you mean it's up in the air?
Look. It's up in the air. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Make the right choice, Giardi. Come and have some fun with us in this mess.
This it's above my pay grade. I just go where they tell me to go.
That sounds about right. A sheep. Mike Giardi, Boston Sports Journal, with us on 104.5 The Zone. The All 32 podcast is where you can check him out as well on a regular basis. Get out of here. I'm tired of you already.
All right, see you later. Lucas, always a pleasure.
Bye, buddy.
Hey, love you, Mike.
See you. Love you too.
Ah!
Yeah!
There it is.
Damn it. That's a very unlikely love you too. Boston people don't do that.
Yeah!
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
615-737-1045 is the number. Kevin is in Columbia up next. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Buck. I believe I got the winning formula for the Tennessee Titans for this Sunday.
Okay.
Mr. McCoy needs to listen up. We're sitting Calvin Ridley and Tyler Lockett, and we are bringing up, I'm going to say the name wrong, Restrepo.
Xavier Restrepo.
No,
that's
you
right.
nailed it.
Nailed it.
And Mason Kinsey for a quick passing game, and that will save the Tennessee Titans year and get us to the Super Bowl, as Nature Boy would say. Woo!
All right, Kevin, that was awesome. With the truck honk afterwards. Well done by Kevin in Columbia. Yes, Xavier Restrepo. I mean, honest to God, why not at this point? I'm tired of fighting him off on Twitter. Just let him go out there. Tyler Lockett is a walking corpse at this point in his career, with all due respect. I know I can't say that and then say with all due respect.
I don't think those things go in the same sentence.
With all due respect, you are just a sloppy fat.
You are a corpse, and I think nothing of you, with all due respect.
It's not that I don't think anything of him. It's that I don't think anything of him as a football player anymore, and why not just let Xavier Restrepo go out there?
The best part is,
anymore.
Robert, if Buck interviews Tyler Lockett at any point in the next couple of weeks, what's the tone going to be? Is it going to be the corpse?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
Big dap up.
Dap up.
Titan Scott in the F&M Bank chat says, Xavier Respirator.
But seriously, okay, Mason Kinsey, Xavier Restrepo, not going to get them to the Super Bowl. Maybe Restrepo can. I don't know about Restrepo. But, on the Restrepo thing, are we all in agreement? Why not at this point? Lockett has done nothing.
He has not brought what he was, signed to bring.
Every 30-plus-year-old wide receiver ever in the state of Tennessee. Actually, except for DeAndre Hopkins, to his credit. But yeah, I'm tired of telling people that it's ridiculous to talk about Xavier Restrepo, because it's no longer ridiculous. There's no reason not to.
I want you to interview Tyler Lockett in the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to practice today. I can.
Tyler, why are you so ass?
Just to watch the switch up in real person. Or in real,
Could I see your hands? Yeah. I wanted to make sure there were no holes in them.
He catches it. He falls down behind the line of scrimmage.
It would be the complete opposite. It'd be I just have so much respect for your career.
Everything you've done.
Oh, goodness. All right. More of your phone calls coming up next. Also, our high school football hero of the week, right? We've delayed it. So Andre Adams will join us next. The imaging person is wrong. The install is on Thursdays, not on Wednesdays. I will yell at somebody about that later. Either way, what you need to be yelling about is achieving financial independence. You need to strive for it. You need to get there in as many different ways as you can, but doing it with sound decision-making. And that is what Trajan Wealth is here to help you with. What better gift for you and your family this holiday season than the peace of mind a tailored investment portfolio provides? Trajan Wealth is here to help you with that process, and they can do so today. If you are somebody who is focused on retirement planning, or if you're just simply trying to get some kind of wealth management plan, tactical investments are also something that Trajan Wealth can help you with. You can find a different path, or a path that makes the most sense for you, tailored to your specific situation, to help you with your budget and your family's needs. Trajan Wealth will help you accomplish all of these things and will give you a variety of different options to do so. You can contact them in Brentwood or Franklin. You can call them at 615 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000. Or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We are going to do our high school football hero of the week here in just a second. Antioch quarterback Andre Adams will join us. He's currently on fall break, and we appreciate him taking time on his vacation to do so. We will call him momentarily. In the meantime, as we await Andre, we can take some more of your phone calls. How about Mark in McMinnville?
Yes, sir. I have a kind of a layered question. If we were to, if Amy and them are interviewing a coach who's under contract, it seems to me like with that amount of money, they would, the new candidate would have to present like who, what their plan and idea, who their OC would be and all this. I wonder about that because the way it's framed is like we're waiting to see who they're going to hire. And also the other part of that is with Mike McCarthy, he could have been hired an interim with somebody who's not under contract like that. Could they not bring those in and would they have to present their whole plan, like who their OC is going to be, what changes they'll make to the staff? And I'm just really curious about that. I think you have some inside information of the workings of how that would go down.
Yeah, so appreciate the call, Mark. Just for some context, before we get to Andre Adams, you have to request permission to interview candidates that are under contract. So like the club that they are currently working for, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Niners, whomever, would have to grant permission for you to interview their candidate. And for guys who are on the street, yeah, they would come in with the full pitch. They would have game plans. They would have playbooks. They would have staff changes. They would have different things that they would want. They would present things like roster control. Like they would lay out the full pitch throughout the course of the rounds of interviews. But we can get back to those discussions a little later because Andre Adams joins us now, Antioch High School quarterback, our Tennessee High School Football Hero of the Week. I'm so sorry to bother you on your vacation, but we do appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. I'm good. It's all good.
So 22 of 28, 401 yards, 6 touchdowns, 15 carries for 137 yards, and 3 more touchdowns. 64-62 was the final over FRA. Is that the most ridiculous football game you've ever been a part of?
Yes, that is. That was crazy. That's a crazy score.
64-62 is an insanity because Brett Kern, a Titans punter, former Titans punter, was on the opposite sideline to just taking all of that in. He's a part of the coaching staff there. Andre, from your perspective, like at what point did you know it was just going to turn into a track meet?
First drive. We got a fumble. They fumbled their first play, and we scored quick. But it was just something telling me, like, I still knew what type of game it was going to be. I knew they wasn't just going to hand it over and give up like that. So coming out of halftime, that's when the momentum really changed for them. They started scoring easy. They got a couple stops, but especially coming out of halftime, that's when I knew it was going to be one of those.
And Antioch is on the scene as a state championship contender in the 6A class. Andre, that got you to 8-0 on the season, going into a much-deserved fall break, of course, coinciding with your bye week this week. But just that leap that you guys have made under Coach Broom from being a team that, was able to have a winning record last year, that was in the postseason, but unable to make a run, to now sitting here at 8-0. And I know there's still work to be done, and your last 2 games are on the road. Those will be challenges within your region. But what can you most attribute to this success this year and taking the leap you guys have taken in 2025?
Yeah, Coach Broom is a great coach. He lets the kids be the kids. He doesn't try to change who we are as players and personalities. It's a bunch of mixed personalities on the team, but we all come together and we contribute and we connect. Chemistry is a big important piece on the team. A lot of the guys on the team are 3-year starters, 3 years in the offense, 4 years in the offense, and that just shows growth from players. And my dad, being an offensive coordinator, trusting me to get the job done as a quarterback, that's also a huge part of how we're winning now. And also the support coming from in the school with all the and the community support, people showing up to the games, cheering us on. It's all big.
Andre, you took a huge leap individually. Obviously, the team success is what you're here talking about, but 17 passing touchdowns last year. I mean, you've blown way past that at this point in the year as we get close to the end of the regular season. Individually for you and getting to work with your dad as the OC and Coach Broom, what do you feel like you've improved on most now as you guys are on this roll and personally for you, offers starting to really roll in at the FBS level?
Yeah, I just feel 10 times more comfortable in the offense. They've gave me a lot of more say so in what I do in the offense. There's times where I call my own plays, audible out of things that I don't like. If I'm seeing something audible into things, just me having more control over the offense and being more confident is what's been putting me in a crazy year statistically.
And looking to continue it at Clarksville, not this Friday, but next Friday. We'll be there at Friday Night Rivals on My TV 30. Looking forward to seeing you guys in person, Andre. What is the emphasis this week on what you guys are working on as you gear up for that last 2-game stretch? Both of them going up to the Clarksville area to go to Clarksville and to Rossview to close out the season. What's on the mind this week as you guys reset and get ready to go to Clarksville?
We just got to stay consistent, knowing that we're a big team, big wins, 8-0. Just go into games knowing that anything could happen. Just stay humble and hungry. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Don't get the big head just because we're 8-0. Just stay humble, knowing who was down with us from the start. And that's what I feel like. That's what's going. That's how we're coming into this week's game and the last two.
Well, Andre, we appreciate you taking some time. Enjoy the rest of your fall break, and good luck with the rest of the season. It's been really cool to watch from afar.
I appreciate it.
That's Antioch quarterback Andre Adams.
9 total touchdowns in that game.
It's like this man had 700 yards of offense himself.
Yeah. He is having a phenomenal year.
Insane.
He has become, in terms of high school football coverage, just a household name in 2025. And then you get Vanderbilt knocking, and Arkansas and Cincinnati, and it goes on and on. So looking forward to seeing him and his team in person as Antioch tries to make some noise, knocking on the door of the best season in school history.
I mean, and they're scoring points at an outrageous clip. Like, I was just looking at some of their results. Very few of them have even been as low as in the 30s as far as the point totals. You got 40 points, 54 points, 45, 55, 64. Just outrageous what they've been able to do on offense. So, obviously, they'll have a bit of a break with their bye, and then at Clarksville is their next game on the 24th, which is the game that you're going to be at.
Yes, this week we are headed to Hendersonville. The Commandos host Station Camp in a big region game. And then next Friday, we will be at Clarksville High School as they host Andre Adams and the Antioch Bears.
Awesome. The Titans fired their coach, and we just got a call prior to Andre joining us about the hiring of the Titans' next coach. Now, obviously, it will be some time before that goes down. Usually those things are done around Martin Luther King Day. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in January is typically the window after teams start to allow their candidates to be interviewed. Teams get into the postseason and things of that nature. But it doesn't mean that you can't look around, take a browse at some of the names that are already being discussed or some of the names that you might be interested. So we'll talk about coaching candidates for the Tennessee Titans coming up next.
12:02, good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans move forward with Mike McCoy as the interim coach after Brian Callahan was let go on Monday. Titans turned their focus to the New England Patriots at Nissan Stadium on Sunday. Injury report will come out later this afternoon, the first one of the week. Titans did make some moves yesterday, placing edge rusher Femi Oladejo on injured reserve. Femi Oladejo, who left the game in Vegas in the second half with an ankle injury, he will miss a minimum of 4 games. Signed to the active roster from the practice squad in a corresponding move was outside linebacker Ollie Gay. The Titans also signed tackle John Ojukwu to the practice squad and waived tight end Thomas Odukoya. Playoff baseball tonight in the ALCS. The Blue Jays at the Mariners. First pitch at 7:08. Seattle leads the series 2-0. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour on this Wednesday. Titans are back on the practice field with I guess he's not a new head coach, but he's a new-to-them head coach, Mike McCoy. We played for you Mike McCoy's introductory statements yesterday. We have more Mike McCoy audio to get to, and there is a real possibility that should he do a good enough job here to satisfy an owner who suppose none of us really know what she wants. None of you know what she wants. I don't know how many people in the building know what she wants. But if Mike McCoy does a sufficient enough job by her standard, there's a real chance she could hire him. The last 3 coaches who have been interim head coaches for this organization have been hired into a full-time role. Paul Kuharsky had that fact. I suppose that's not a stat, but a fact. Earlier today on Twitter, speaking of Titans media, Mike Vrabel just met with Titans media via a Microsoft Teams call. I did not see that people were asking, or so what was the nature of the tribute video question? I don't get it.
Kuharsky came out and said, confirmed, the Titans will not be running a tribute video for Mike Vrabel. I guess that's something that people were asking about this week.
Oh, do NFL teams do that for fired coaches often? That didn't win a Super Bowl?
I was going to say, yeah.
He went to an AFC championship game.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen that. Maybe it's different. Did Green Bay do a tribute for Mike McCarthy? That would make sense when he led the Cowboys into Green Bay for the first time. That would make sense. There's literally a street named after him up there. They won a Super Bowl. Yeah, they won a Super Bowl.
Sense, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think that should be shocking to people.
Yeah, also, they hate him.
Yeah.
Bert Nihil and Amy Armstrong hate him. And said the tribute video is crazy. I have not seen the nature of the questions that Mike Vrabel was being asked. I'm sure he was asked about Cam Ward. I'm sure he was asked about Brian Callahan and other things like that. There's no audio of it. We thought about live streaming it for you, but that felt gratuitous. So if there is anything relevant after the fact, we can go through that later. But Mike McCoy could be the next head coach of the Titans, should he have success here. Now, Mike McCoy's track record as a head coach is not stellar. He's been fired several times. He most recently the fired Chargers head coach.
Well, that's his only one.
Fired several times as a coach. He's been a fired offensive coordinator multiple times. He has been a fired head coach once.
9-7 in year 1 in San Diego, 2013. Made the playoffs, finished 3rd in the AFC West, and still made the playoffs as a wild card team. Lost to the Broncos in the divisional round. So they won a playoff game that year, the 2013 season. 2014, 9-7, but left out of the postseason. Year 3 in 2015, they went 4-12. Year 4 in 2016, they went 5-11, and he was relieved of his duties.
So it's not great, right? He's not been just the definition of wins and losses.
Who is it?
Somebody from Hartsville, Tennessee?
Hold it up to the camera.
It's my watch that's ringing.
Hartsville, Tennessee.
I'm not going to hold.
Do a little geography bee. Where is that? Where's Hartsville?
Couldn't possibly tell you.
Yeah, I have no idea either. It's right outside of Nashville.
Oh, okay.
You should answer it.
No.
So that first year, he replaced Norv Turner, and they beat the Bengals in the wild card round and lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Broncos, Peyton Manning.
Who he would end up coaching later in his career. So Mike McCoy could do enough to keep the job here. Mike McCoy was on the Broncos staff with Peyton Manning and Brian Callahan. That's how they know each other.
Yes, but this would have been after, because he was the Broncos OC 2010 to 2012, and then got the Chargers job because the Broncos Super Bowl run with Peyton was
15
was his ride into the sunset.
Well, they had 2 Super Bowl runs. One he got dummied in. The other where Von Miller essentially won them the game against the Panthers. But
that's right. Yeah. Okay. So they lost to the Broncos in the year that they did not win the Super Bowl.
Somebody said, "Ask Buck where Hermitage is." I unfortunately know where Hermitage is because Robert lives there.
You've been to my house a time.
No.
Yes, for the backyard or the backyardy.
And then another time because Grace left her cell phone in an Uber in Hermitage, or that lived in Hermitage, and then I had to schlep out there.
So it wasn't like that you were coming to see me.
No.
You were just in the neighborhood and needed something.
Brother, and also there was a third time that I had to go out there. What did I have to go out to your house for recently? I had to go pick something up. Didn't I have to drop you?
Oh, no, your hemorrhoid cream that you let me borrow. Yes.
Right.
I lost the cap, so I had to cover it with like a little cellophane. I remember that now.
No, it wasn't that. It was it was your Tennessee Men's Clinic treatment.
Yes, Bucks, not mine.
Bucks,
yes, it got shipped to my house.
Go pick it up.
Yeah.
Performance issues are real.
And your toupee. Look at that wig. You can't. It's so obvious that's fake hair.
Did you watch the video? No, are you kidding me? I'm going to Turkey and getting a real thing if I'm going to start doing
pull
that.
on that right now. Pull on it.
You spray it with hairspray, like it doesn't do anything.
Well, I didn't today.
Your hair is so short. What is the point of spraying it with something? Like, it doesn't move.
Well, that's the point, because it does sag. I've got the squirrel tail, widow's tail.
I don't know. You always spray your hair like
tail,
that's not
widow's
doing
peak.
it. Like you have such short hair.
Should I go full emo?
Yes, put those bangs in your face.
Bang it out. Phrasing.
News.
You look ridiculous.
Do I?
From Yahoo Sports. Yahoo reporting that, or USA Today, I guess, reporting that Florida head coach Billy Napier could be fired as soon as this weekend. Scott Strickland, the AD, met with a handful of influential boosters Tuesday and was told continuing financial support depends on, quote, a new direction within the football program.
Getting a little Nicky in the chat right now with the hairstyle.
Get in the flask.
Florida hosts Mississippi State this weekend after losing at Texas A&M. They are 2-4.
Does that surprise you?
No, it's just one of those things that's like, is this going to ever happen, or is Billy Napier going to keep doing this thing where he
every year
just escapes somehow, some way? But by this weekend, so that'd be interesting. You would think if that move was going to be made, it's Wednesday by now. Like, they're game planning. They're getting ready to play Mississippi State, trying to fight to stay in bowl contention, I guess.
Is Florida the college football version of Amy Adams Strunk?
What do you mean?
Like just erratic behavior. Nobody knows when the axe is going to fall type of situation. It could be a Monday. It could be a Tuesday. It could be the Wednesday of a game plan week.
No, everybody they have fired there, it's been, I think, pretty reasonable. In fact, Billy has the worst record to this point of any of those guys that they had fired previously, whether it's Muschamp or Mullen or so on. I don't know who that would go to. Who is the most erratic, just all over the place athletic department football program from a decision-making standpoint at the college level? That's a good question.
615-737-1045. We were supposed to talk about coaching hires here, and we did not. I'm not going to open up the phone lines and say, who do you want? Because that just turns into a list of names via phone calls. Is there a candidate that the three of us would be more interested in than any other candidate? Like, if you got your pick of not even just available coaches, but coordinators who are currently on staff elsewhere that you would have to request permission to interview, is there one name that immediately pops into either of your heads?
I have one. Jared says, us, Auburn, we are talking about the most erratic, and there's not a close second. That's fair. Maybe it is Auburn.
Just a science experiment.
I have one that I am not particularly intrigued by or interested in.
I don't care if you're not particularly intrigued or interested in.
It is a name that is going to get brought up a lot.
Okay.
For the Titans head coaching job.
Well, we don't have to go to break. You can tell us.
But what are we doing next?
Close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today. Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So, Lucas sent us to break with a tease. You want to remind the audience what it is that you teased?
I forgot. Robert?
You had a head coaching candidate
that's right.
Does not intrigue you nor excite you.
And it's one that I don't think...
How did you forget that in the last 7 minutes?
I didn't forget. I just wanted Robert to tell us. It's one that I don't think the Titans will be interested in.
Okay.
Because when Mike Vrabel was fired, Titans brought in Brian Callahan, who was the complete opposite of Mike Vrabel in every way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So how much of a departure do they make from Brian Callahan now?
Probably not much.
Okay, we'll see, because this guy immediately was brought up. I saw a lot of national people. Mina Kimes, I think this is the first name she brought up. Young, up-and-coming, rising star, offensive coach, quarterback guru, et cetera, Joe Brady, who is 36 years old, has been the offensive coordinator of the Bills since last year, I guess since 2023. He was the interim when they fired Ken Dorsey. But yet another young, rising star who, unlike Callahan, will have had play-calling experience when he gets his first head coaching opportunity. But like Callahan, will be a first-time head coach, a young head coach that I don't think will have the experience or stability that you need to be more sure of when you're bringing somebody into this situation. I'd be very surprised if that is a route the Titans went.
Can he impress them with big words and explanations of football that they don't fully understand, but they feel like he helps them understand football? Because I also think Brian Callahan interviewed well.
Sure. And look, make no mistake, like Callahan was a highly thought of candidate across the league. Like it wasn't just the Titans picked him out, nobody else was even considering him.
Yeah, but they kind of got stuck on him.
They did. They really liked him. I feel like Joe Brady is going to be one of those hot names that falls under that category. And not to mention, he's got the Joe Burrow thing behind his back as well, like Callahan had.
I don't want somebody who hasn't done the job before if I'm them. But again, I have Chad Brinker said that the process on the Monday press conference, he was asked about, mistakes made along the way. And he said their process was sound, even though Callahan went the way that it did. He felt good about their process in hiring Brian Callahan. So that doesn't necessarily exclude a Joe Brady or a coordinator who is talented and well thought of just because he's never done the job before. If they feel that the process was sound and the process landed on a first-time head coach because of what the resume lent itself to and what they were looking for at the time, then I don't necessarily think that excludes anybody.
I'll be really surprised if they hire a first-time head coach.
Nothing they do surprises me at this point in time. The surprise would be good decision making. So we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You are not interested? You personally are not interested in Joe Brady?
It's more than I don't think they will be. I think Joe Brady could be a good head coach.
I'm not even going to pretend what I think that they think because I have no idea what she thinks.
That's what makes it fun. Just playing this little game.
See, if you're looking at the signs and the trends, they have been trying to buck the trends. I didn't mean to do that. That's just the phrase. They have been, Amy fires everybody on Tuesday. We're going to fire him on Monday. This happens this way. We're going to do it this way. So I think they are swerving when they mean to go straight, and they're going straight when they mean to swerve. So
she overcorrects.
They are going to overcorrect. So what would that mean?
Mike
that would
McCarthy.
mean no. That means they would be hiring someone exactly like Callahan, someone who didn't have head coaching experience, but his father did. Someone who, and now I will say, this guy has called plays, and he has called plays in very big moments. My dark horse and someone I would be interested in if I was the Tennessee Titans.
Can we play a game? You gave us a couple hits already. He has called plays.
His
dad was a head coach in the NFL?
His dad was a head coach in the NFL.
Okay, offensive-minded?
Offensive-minded.
Well, should we play 20 questions?
He's in the NFC. That's the last hint I'll give you.
He's a current OC?
Yes. And he has been he has been an OC in 25, 24, and previously in 21.
Division?
The NFC West. Team?
Is Mike LaFleur wandering around out there?
No, but you're on the right track. It is Clint Kubiak.
Oh.
His father, Gary Kubiak, head coach of the Texans, head coach of the Broncos, offensive coordinator. Really great. Honestly, one of the most fun offensive seasons to watch the Ravens ever have was when Gary was their offensive coordinator. Clint has been exceptional in Seattle this year. In terms of his offense ranks 10th in yards, 5th in points. His first stop with Minnesota, they went 8-8. It was under Mike Zimmer, but he had Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had 37 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Part of that is a sophomore Justin Jefferson, but I do think his lineage, and this is the same thing you said about Callahan, but this guy has called plays.
He's had 3 different offensive coordinator stints.
And he was in New Orleans. They weren't spectacular, but their personnel also wasn't spectacular.
Yeah. Only 38 years old.
Very young. So you would be getting in early, which is why I think you have to do that in some cases. The Seahawks, the team he is on now, got in early on Mike McDonald. Then the Jaguars got in early on their general manager, Joey Gladstone. Or he's not Joey. James. Joey is the dude off Full House. Cut it out.
Wait, Joey, that's his name, Gladstone?
Like James Gladstone. If you're going to get in early.
His friends call him Joey.
You might as well get in with some smart people. But the parallels are there. Former head coach. I don't think Gary's going to come and coach the team, but that would be a guy that would be on my list of at least to talk to.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
Do they all have a catchphrase on this show?
Oh, what is
what's Jesse's?
Have mercy.
Have mercy.
Oh, what is he, Elvis? I don't remember that.
Yes, that's his whole deal.
Basically.
I don't
his
remember
band.
that at all.
Cool
You've never
greaser
seen
guy?
Full House?
No.
Oh, who was his girlfriend?
I'm sure I've seen an episode of Full House.
You don't remember Jesse's girlfriend?
I don't retain things.
Worked the news station there? Rebecca.
That wasn't Lori Loughlin's character?
Lori Loughlin's the one that went to jail, right?
Correct.
Yes. How dare you fudge your daughter's resume to get into USC? Who do you think you are? I am.
Is she still in jail?
No.
Well, actually, her statement came out. She was talking to the judge and jury, and she said, quote, "Have mercy with your sentencing."
She was, I don't know if she's still in jail. No, she was sentenced to 2 months.
Yeah.
What?
She got 2 months.
2 months?
She turned on that Aunt Becky charm and it was over.
Yeah.
Can we stop doing this? The thing where we hire head coaches in the NFL who are great coordinators.
I thought you were going to say naming random coaches.
No,
That's
I don't
my
care.
favorite thing to do.
I don't care. I'm well aware of your joy. It's the first light I've seen in your eyes since we talked about college football in the first hour.
I will say coaching searches are more fun in college, but we'll take what we can get.
What do you mean, though?
I don't want another young coordinator who hasn't done the job just because he's a good coordinator. The fail rate on those guys is astronomical. Mike McDaniel, Brian Callahan. There are the list goes on and on of people who are excellent at what it was that they did, but they have no concept of what these jobs actually are. And I understand that you can't just pull a retread for the sake of having a retread. But you know how much better the situation would feel with, I mean, honestly, it felt better with Mike McCoy yesterday. I know it's a press conference, and I know his cadence is slow and drawn out and all these different things, and the media is tripping all over themselves because they're jumping in every time he takes a pause to answer a question. But I want somebody who knows how to do the job. I want a leader who can hire good coordinators.
Who is it?
It's an 812 number, potential spam, though. How do I make it stop ringing on my watch? I don't understand how to do that.
I'm never
going to. Insane.
You have to Google some things on your own.
I don't want somebody who hasn't done the job before. This place is a wreck, and I want them to not be so insecure about their management of people that they can't handle a coach who knows what he wants. That's the thing. I mean, Vrabel rubbed them the wrong way, and the owner and Vrabel ended up hating each other at the end, and Burke Nihill and Vrabel don't get along and all these other things. I don't care. Like, he knows how to make football decisions, and I understand he was a first-time head coach, and he probably didn't. I know he didn't do everything the right way. There's no world in which Mike Vrabel was perfect, especially not at the end here in Tennessee. We all understand this. But I don't want them scared to hire somebody who understands that football needs to be left alone and that this person is going to be the CEO of football. Chad Brinker should not be the CEO of football. The coach should be. I'm tired of this.
The coaches that check the most boxes for what you're saying, because I agree, like I said, I'd be very surprised if they hire a first-time head coach. The two that check the most boxes when it comes to experience, still being an offensive mind, and having ties to the people leading this search, Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi, are two names, Matt Nagy and Mike McCarthy. Those are the two that check the most of those, the most conventional boxes that you look to check in a head coaching search.
And Mike McCarthy's not like on Jerry Jones buyout money, so he's not just coasting, right? His contract expired, and he's not getting paid to go away. Matt Nagy, I don't know why anybody would want to leave the Kansas City Chiefs, honestly. I don't know how if Mike Borgonzi's had any regrets since he took the job. And I understand that, like, first-time general manager is different. You want your opportunity to shape your own football team, to be able to build your own thing because you've had success somewhere else, but it was somebody else's success that you were contributing to. Robert?
I just think it's tough to say that because, like, it is. We
Tough
can't
to say what?
I stop hiring good coordinators who have never been head coaches because if you look around the NFL,
here,
sure, but like that process is still the same of hiring a coach. Like, I don't think you can check someone off just because they haven't been a head coach before. Like, I feel like that's a little
reductive. This place is drowning. This place is drowning in lack of experience. They had a first-time play calling, first-time head coach, first-time D coordinator, first-time special teams coach. Those were all hires made under the first-time head coach, and it was an abomination.
I get that. But then look at D'Amico Ryans, who took over the Texans, where you could say, okay, not a lot of talent. They added Will Anderson and C.J. Stroud in his rookie year as head coach, and he had never been a head coach. He had been a defensive coordinator. I think the quality we need to find is a leader. I don't care. Correct. I don't care if they've never been a head coach before. I don't care if they're just a good coordinator. They just need to be a leader, someone who can make men followers.
But I almost don't want. If you're going to be a first-time head coach, I almost think there needs to be a stipulation that you hire play callers. Because I don't want you I don't want to see you making mistakes on not knowing or being whatever it was, misinterpreting the rules. He could have gotten caught up. It'd be a completely human moment, but he was almost obstinate in that Denver press conference after the fact that we didn't know the rules and he did, and he was wrong.
Well, I also don't think that should just turn you off to play calling head coaches, period. That's where the NFL kind of is right now. I think that should be,
no.
Just because you got one
But I don't care what the trend is. I want them to prove that they can handle the response. Lucas, it's completely reasonable for them to hire a head coach and say, hire play callers, and then if at some point you prove to be successful managing the operations of the football team, the job that is 10 times the scale of calling plays, then
if you're hiring a first-time head coach, yes. But if you're hiring a head coach that has had that experience and showed capability, like a Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a first-time head coach that wants to call plays, Brian Callahan mold. I want them to have the fortitude to say, earn it.
Therein lies the issue, right? Because if you're hiring a Joe Brady, you are hiring him for him basically to be your head coach and offensive coordinator.
Tavondre Sweat designated a return.
Would you say the same thing about Arthur Smith? Because if this team looked at Arthur Smith as a former head coach, someone who's been here, understands what the responsibilities are, he would probably be calling the offense, right? So, like, would you say no to Arthur Smith in that case?
Yeah, because it was terrible in Atlanta.
I mean, he wasn't exactly dealt a great situation.
What?
But, I mean,
Arthur
to Buck's
Smith,
point,
to a Desmond Ridder as his quarterback?
I get that, but, like, the situation here isn't any better either. So I understand where he's coming from of they have to be able to make somewhere better. Like, he didn't make
Atlanta better.
He didn't make Atlanta better.
Sure, but I think there are limitations there when you are rolling with Marcus Mariota and then shifting to all in on Desmond Ridder, who is he? I mean, what is he, the third stringer somewhere?
He was in USFL.
Yeah, I don't think
drafts.
he's NFL right now.
He's not even in the NFL anymore.
I'm not saying that
7-10 in all 3 years.
But the utilization of their skill players was weird.
It was. No, there were criticisms for sure.
And apparently him and Marcus Mariota had a falling out in the middle of that situation.
On Marcus's interview on Bussin' with the Boys, it sounded like that.
So I'm not, if you can't find a way to get along with Marcus Mariota and listen,
seems to be working with Rodgers right now.
Well, that is a fair point. If you can manage Aaron Rodgers.
Isn't it crazy, man? It's week 7. We haven't talked at all about Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh.
Thank God.
They're just kind of up there winning. They're just winning games. He's playing good football.
Their division's falling apart around them.
Getting ready to raw dog the Bengals.
No, I thought that's
no,
right.
It was the
Jamar Chase said that the Steelers were coming too.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Okay. So he believes that's the Steelers' intention. But it's crazy that the most talked about person of the NFL offseason, and then he shows up and he looks like Aaron Rodgers and they're winning games and we haven't even paid attention.
What if it just ends up being Mike McCoy? What if we go through all of this and she just does the thing that is the least sexy thing? And it's worked for her before, like Mike Mularkey worked out until the Robisky thing, and we've covered that at great length on this show.
What if they only interview Mike M's? Any others?
Would just be Miami's coach.
Mike McCarthy, Mike McDaniel.
You can't. I don't even think we could live in a world where they would do that.
McCoy?
In a world where the Titans are so worried about optics and so worried about how people are talking about them and think about them, how would you sell to the fan base? Hey, this failed coach from the Chargers who was never very successful, he's going to fix this, and I don't know why we didn't hire him in the first place. Like, how do they sell that to the fans?
If he beats Mike Vrabel and she decides, favorite son. This is the thing. She swoops in and swoops out. Because there are people in that building every day very concerned with optics. But she's not there every day. Like, did you guys read Albert Breer's piece on how far removed she is from things? And how difficult that makes day-to-day decision-making that owners who are around on at least a somewhat frequent basis in the facility. I'm not talking about showing up on game day with your family contingent and sitting in a box and doing the prom queen wave. Like the day-to-day decision-making of what makes a football team go. And again, I understand why people don't care as long as she cuts checks or whatever. But if she's ultimately making decisions and she's making decisions based on the information that she has available, she's not here enough to have all the information that's available. She's getting it secondhand. So, yeah, if she decides that Mike McCoy does enough, if Cam looks serviceable and Mike McCoy does the thing that not a single solitary person expects him to do this week, which is beat Mike Vrabel, I don't know that she doesn't just do the thing that makes it feel good in real time.
What do you think the spread is?
Pats, 7.5.
Yes.
I'd be curious to see if Tavondre Sweat gets activated before this game. That would make a huge difference. That would make a huge difference, no pun intended.
We get practice reports today.
3 o'clock.
Correct?
Well, it should be 3 o'clock.
So that would be huge news. If he is limited or full at any point this week, it would make sense to have him added back to the main roster.
We have not really gotten to see what Tavondre Sweat looks like with Jeff Simmons playing at the level he's playing at next to him. Because he got hurt in week 1. I mean, when did he leave that game, the Broncos game?
He didn't leave the Broncos game.
Yeah.
He finished the Broncos game.
But Jeff, in the way he's currently playing, or what Tavondre Sweat's addition could do to continue to open things up for Jeff, we have not really seen yet this year.
I am curious to see what Mike McCoy does differently, if it ends up mattering. But, we're going to talk about all these different interesting candidates, all these different trends and things that the league would follow. And the thing that would be the least surprising in the world to me is that Mike McCoy just ends up being the Titans coach. As long as it is serviceable, right? And to this point, it's obviously not been serviceable. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate at any point. Last call for phone calls before I scurry on off to practice for the day to talk to Cam Ward. Nobody's heard from Cam Ward since the coaching change was made. Nobody's heard from the locker room other than social media posts and things like that since the change was made with the head coach. So we will wrap the show up coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So T'Vondre Sweat, suppose that's the news of the day here locally. T'Vondre Sweat designated to return from injured reserve. Titans currently practicing. Mike McCoy will speak after practice, which is a departure from the way that Brian Callahan had been doing things. We'll speak to Cam Ward. Locker room will be open for the first time today. There's really not that many Titans players who were still here for the Vrabel era, so I don't know that that would be a huge talking point for us, the way that it's been for New England media asking, every Titans, or rather every Patriots coach and half the Patriots roster about returning to Tennessee. Jeff Simmons, Amani Hooker.
Yeah, Peter Skoronski.
Skoronski for a year, you're right. It's not really as relevant a talking point for us as it is for them.
McCreary, Jig.
There's a few. Last call for phone calls. Like I mentioned, Jackson is in Kentucky.
So I got a question. Why is Mike McCarthy unemployed and we don't have we've got an interim head coach, but we ain't got a real head coach. So why don't we just start getting him in the system, let him implement a system with Cam Ward, start that development between them now, pay the man whatever he wants. I'll shut up and listen.
What's going on with his phone line there?
Sounded like we were listening to an old Abe Lincoln speech. Like that popping sounded like some
like a 1950s television broadcast, radio broadcast.
I feel like a lot of people have had these. I see these reactions, and it's social media, so for what it's worth, but all of these, we better not be hiring Mike McCarthy like he doesn't have by far.
In what world are you two good for Mike McCarthy?
Far the best resume of anybody. Is there a coach with a better resume, even close to the resume McCarthy has?
Bill Belichick.
That's a potential. You got me there.
That was really good.
He's under contract.
Listen, I don't want them to hire Mike McCarthy just because he's out there. I want them to actually go through the process, although their process that they say is sound, has not yielded results for 2.5 years at this point, so I understand why you would just say, just hire McCarthy and be done with it. I do think that they need to have a thorough coaching search. They did the last time and they failed. Doesn't mean that they'll fail this time, but Mike McCarthy's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I've just been confused at the amount of people that seem to be scoffing at it, like he doesn't have a Super Bowl, doesn't check every box you could possibly want. Offensive mind, the leadership qualities, the experience, managing big market teams, like literally everything you could want in a head coach in this era of the Titans and the instability that has been there.
Yeah, but is he going to ask for more control than they want to give him?
One former Super Bowl winning coach that I have not heard anyone bring up. How would you guys feel about Doug Peterson?
What is he up to?
I'm not moved by Doug Peterson either way.
I think he got a poor shake in Philly. I went after the Super Bowl.
Well, he got by Carson Wentz,
but
pleading to ownership over his head.
It ended up working in their favor. They won a Super Bowl, so everything else is disregarded. Jacksonville was kind of weird, though.
It was kind of weird.
But Trevor Lawrence is weird.
Yeah, I agree.
And also Trent Baalke is weird.
I think he deserves another shake, but so does Brian. There are only 32 of these jobs. Like you got to fight for them. I was kind of surprised we didn't hear his name at least brought up.
He's not doing anything right now.
Do we know that he wants to get back in it? Because normally the interest is leaked by people who are representing these people, and I haven't heard Doug Peterson's name mentioned once.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
57 years old. He'll be 58 in January. It was weird because year one in Jacksonville was that season that the Jags had the late season surge where Mike McCoy was quarterback's coach, and they beat the Titans in the regular season finale, beat the Chargers in the playoffs, and lose to the Chiefs in the divisional round. But it felt like at the end of that season that Trevor Lawrence was on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they go 9-8, miss the playoffs in 23, and then bottom out in 2024.
Somebody said on YouTube, did Doug ruin Lawrence? No, Urban Meyer did that. Trevor Lawrence never had a real chance because his first coach was Urban Meyer. Imagine Brian Callahan getting fired before Urban Meyer.
Can you imagine going from Dabo to Urban? Like, talk about two opposite ends of the spectrum. Like, hey, I love you, brother. I love you so much, man. Get over here, kicker, so I can give you one of them, two of these.
Also, Callahan did not get fired before Urban Meyer, timeline-wise.
Yes, he absolutely did.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
No, he did not.
Look up what week Urban Meyer got fired.
How many weeks into his first year? Urban Meyer didn't even make it a full season as the head coach.
No,
of the
I know.
Jags. Like,
Okay. I understand.
There is a difference. I mean, it was bad.
No.
Don't get me wrong.
You're right. I'm sorry. I got confused there because Brian Callahan had obviously coached a full season and Urban Meyer got fired in his first season.
That sounded like a married couple who couldn't really hear each other. That's what I said. No, you didn't. That's not what you said.
That's my fault. I misunderstood. Ricky is in Nashville next.
Hey, guys. A few moments ago, didn't you say something like, what would we be looking for in this next game with the new coach? Did somebody say that?
I mean, sure.
Well, I think you did. Anyway, here's what I'm looking for. When I watched Kansas City play the other night against Detroit, Detroit was putting some pretty good heat on the Mahomes, and the adjustment was made so damn quick. About a third of the offensive plays that Kansas City did from that point on, they were like moving Mahomes around. Moving him to the left, moving him to the right. They just weren't letting him sit in the middle of the pocket like a sitting duck. And I just can't believe how much that the Titans did, especially this last week. I can only remember him rolling out one time, and he threw a great throw. The rest of the time, he just falls back and just stands there and, just gets creamed. So what I'm looking for is to see move him around and out of the pocket somewhat. Don't let him just be a sitting duck all the time. That's it.
Thank you for the call.
No, ask him another question. Everybody's been getting out right underneath this. I want to hit somebody with the music today.
You literally did. He went 108.
No, he didn't. I like fading them into it. Like if I was talking like, yeah, keep talking. Yeah, what'd you hang up on him for?
Are you fading yourself?
I was going to do this. Like, this is my favorite, is when you someone is getting farther and farther, and I wish someone would help me.
Oh, he's going to get it on someone. Someone's got to get the music.
Okay, we'll see if Alex and Matt. No, I don't want to do who my pick for coach would be calls. I'm good on that.
No, let's do it.
Well,
no. It's hot board season. We're lighting the beacons.
It's not hot. No, I don't want to do that.
Alex was also the guy who you tried to go to but accidentally hung up on for dumbest.
Oh, then I'm definitely not doing it.
Oh.
What you got, Alex? Come on.
No.
Just trying to censor people.
How do we get his... Dang it. Alex, call us back.
I didn't know your phone works over there.
Hey, sometimes it does.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to patch
it chooses when not to and when to work.
You guys want to go blind on this next one?
Sure.
What do you want?
Speak.
Yep. You got me?
Yeah. Yep. What do you got?
What's up, Buck? Hey, it's Mason from Nashville.
Awesome.
Man, I had called a few weeks ago. I want to apologize. I got a little conspiracy theorist on you guys, but hearing them talk about the coach, I think, Buck, it seems like me and you kind of got what we wanted there with Brian gone. It's kind of sad to see anybody losing their job is sad, but my question for you is you just mentioned a second ago about Mike McCarthy, and you kind of said something about the level of control. What are you guys hearing about that? Because that's kind of goes back to this whole conversation about why we have this pattern of running through coaches like this. And do we know about some sort of level of control that's kind of coming from ownership or somewhere in that circle that gets pushed down on the coaches? Or
listen,
that just kind of a hunch?
Vrabel tried to big dog her, and you can't do that. Like, Mike was in the wrong in the way that he was not diplomatic. And whether or not he was proven right, we all have certain things, I'm sure, when we've dealt with bosses that we disagree with or people, superiors that we disagree with, that we want to say to them but don't because it's not the right thing to do. Also, Chad Brinker believes in not having a coach-centric organization, and he is empowered on behalf of ownership. So when you have that mentality and you have Brinker operating a certain way, and Brinker's got more juice than anybody on the football side right now for some time at this point, then you have a situation where, they're not willing, or at least to this point have not been willing to give a coach as much control as a coach might like. Now, Brinker and McCarthy obviously have a pre-existing relationship.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's a Chad Brinker thing as far as
you just wanted him to
60 seconds on the clock.
You
Time
both
for polls.
got the music. Fantastic.
My mic's on, isn't it? I don't even know anymore. Can we do some polls so I can get, damn it.
Let's do some polls. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What is the dumbest thing in sports this week? Kaz says the media acting like firing Callahan was a bad thing or a mistake. Michael also says hypocrisy about the firing of Bill Callahan. T-Roy says angst at the Titans front office for finally firing Callahan.
Who in media said it was a bad idea to fire Brian Callahan?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. What percent? Yeah, because it was never about, again, like any criticism this week have not been about the decision.
No.
You know, like nobody's banging on the table and saying, no, Brian Callahan is the right man for the job.
No.
What percentage chance do you give Mike McCoy to get the Titans job? Titan Cat says 20%. He would have to demonstrate a major turnaround before they hire him for the permanent post.
And that's completely fair. And he would have to show growth and positive development from Cam Ward, and he would have to win meaningful games. I kind of, you know, when Breaker said there's a lot of football left to play and that their season's not over, I mean, that is literally true, and it's easy to kind of be tongue-in-cheek about, but they can do something in 11 games. They can do something meaningful in 11 games.
Steve says if we make the playoffs, it's his. I agree, Steve. Absolutely.
Okay.
He is a Mike M, so we simply can't ignore that. What is the number one quality you want to see in the Titans' next head coach? Jeff says leadership. A lot of people saying leadership. TGP says adapt system to players, not this square peg to round hole stuff.
And don't just say it. Actually do it.
Those are polls.
All right, very good. That's the show. Head off to Titans practice. We'll see what happens with Tavondre Sweat. We'll talk to Cam Ward about a new, or at least an interim, head coaching situation. We'll do prime time tonight at 7 p.m. We'll see you there.
Out there, we're going to fire our tails off and